Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host, Brandon Tierney. In 3, 2, 1.
Right, what's going on, everybody? BT Unleashed on a little No Rules Friday. We have no rules anyway. I don't know why I keep saying that, but it is a No Rules Friday. What's going on? A little Subway Series action, a little Jets and Giants schedule, a little Cavs and Pistons. We got it all. Sorry for being a couple of minutes late, so let's jump into it. Today's show is brought to you by, I got a lot of good things today. Sullivan Papain, of course, find Sullivan online at triallaw1.com. That is triallaw1.com. Make sure you remember the name, Sullivan Papain, and by Premio Sausage. Premio Sausage, the way sausage should be. Find them at premiofoods.com or in your local grocery store. All right, little housekeeping before we jump into the Subway Series. I saw a chat already. Mets going to sweep. Mets going to sweep nothing. Although, you know, there's so many aspects to this series that are really interesting. Teams going a little bit the opposite direction. The Mets find it a little juicier with these young guns with Benj and Ewing and Soto, you know, avoiding injury the other night, hitting a bomb yesterday, the big single. I don't know. Maybe the tide is turning a little bit. Maybe these Metsies are getting ready to make a little bit of a season out of it. You know, the Yankees offense has been a flat-out disaster in terms of those 5 automatic outs they roll out every single night. So we'll dive into the Subway Series in a moment. This is going to be fun. Now, you know, I'm boys with Jerry. We had Jerry on the show the other day. My guy, Jerry Ferrara, awesome dude. Known him for about 20 years at this point. And I, unbeknownst to me, you know, I just kind of heard, and then I started to investigate. And, you know, we know about this blossoming beef, this friction with Jerry and Dave Rothenberg over at ESPN Radio, who does a great job with DiPietro, great morning show. And I don't know Dave. Like I know almost everybody at ESPN, because I worked with a lot of those guys. I worked with Kay. I worked with LaGreca. I've been, you know, tight with Alan Hahn for a long time. He's awesome. But I don't know Dave. I don't even know if I've ever been in the same room as Dave, right? So, but I always liked his passion. You know, I would listen to them coming in once in a while after Jerry's update. Those guys do a good job. And I guess they were talking about it on the show a little bit yesterday. And the podcast came up. My name came up. It was obviously about Jerry. And they played some clips from when Jerry was on the show. So get it up there. Let's go. Next guest. Here we go. Dan, 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 dan. A little Rothenberg and Jerry. Little Roth and Turtle. We're going to flush through this on Monday. All right. So I got Dave's number. Didn't even have his number. Got his phone number from John Winthrop, who used to be my producer, one of my producers, and is now the PD over at ESPN Radio, and he got me his number. I reached out, and he got back to me, and we were going back and forth a little bit yesterday. I said, hey, I got to get you on the show, have a little fun, you know, just figure out what's going on with you and Jerry, see if we can't resolve this here. So that'll be on Monday. I don't know if it's going to be 10:30 or at 11. He's obviously got his show that he's got to tend to. That's first and foremost. But this I think will be I mean, not different in the sense of how I do the interview, though. Of course, we're going to get, you know, the Rothenberg and Ferrara stuff out of the chute here, try to squash it, or maybe it hits another level, and maybe we're in the middle of some real radio beef there, some real content beef. But it's because I don't know Dave, you know, and all the other guests that I've had on the show, you know, Kay and LaGreca, obviously Stephen A. Jerry, these are guys I've known for a very long time. Patino and Aaron Boone. I don't know Dave, so I'm looking forward to getting to know a little bit more about, you know, how we got into the business and just, I don't, you know, outside of his crazy fandom, which is what drew me into Dave. I remember, God, this had to be, I don't know how long he's been at ESPN Radio, but I left in 2011. We never crossed paths, obviously. We didn't work at the station at the same time. And I remember hearing him, I don't know when, maybe 2015, maybe in the neighborhood of 2015, something like that, when I was doing the national show with Tiki when we started that. And I remember hearing Dave, maybe on a weekend, because I don't think he had his own show yet, maybe doing some fill-in stuff. And I texted my guy, Tim McCarthy, who ran ESPN Radio forever. And Timmy hired me back in the day. And I'm like, Tim, this guy's pretty good, man. You got to get him a slot. And, here Dave's doing his thing, doing it really well with Rick. And They got a good thing in the morning. So that's going to be great. So you excited about that, J-Rod? That'll be a lot of fun, man.
Big time, man. I mean,
Nope.
I'm really excited to see if, like you said, if he's really going to get into the weeds and if this beef is going to be furthered, if the fuel is going to be added to the flame. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, listen, I don't know Jerry to ever back down from a battle, but he's also, I think, mature, and I think that I don't know that either. I don't want to speak for either one. I would imagine that we will walk away with some, mediation. I think that we'll get to the bottom of this.
Yes, sir.
Because unless Gio pulls me into something, I don't get involved in these ratings. You know that. I am a man of peace. I am a man of calm. Yeah, I am one calm person, J-Rod. But that's going to be Monday, so either 10:30 or 11. Let you guys know exactly. I told Dave I would hit him up on Sunday and kind of confirm the time. So somewhere in that window, I would imagine I'll start the show. Obviously, do a lot of Subway Series. And then, with Dave, who's a great sports guy, once we figure out what's going on with him and Jerry, we'll do Knicks, we'll do Subway Series. He's probably the biggest Giants fan that I know. And we'll run through the Giants schedule, which is something I'll do a little bit later as well with the Jets. All right. Subway. Awesome. I'll do Jets and Giants today. Subway Series. I've always been a fan. I've always liked it. Now there's some years where you got to kind of manufacture some of that enthusiasm where the Mets are down and the Yankees are usually up. Now, the up is relative. I mean, the Yankees haven't won since 2009, as we know, but the Yankees are never floundering to a point where their season is on the brink when they meet the Mets in the Subway Series. And that is where we are with the Mets, although I got to tell you, and maybe it's an early read. The Mets have been playing certainly better baseball for a while. The Diamondbacks series didn't go great, but if you go back to the Angels series when they won 2 out of 3, and then right after that, they beat the Rockies. I mean, you better beat the Rockies. They didn't beat them in Queens, so you better take care of them out in Colorado. So they won 2 out of 3 against the Angels, 2 of 3 against the Rockies. Diamondbacks could have gone either way, lost some ugly ones. They lost 2 out of 3. But, when you sweep a team, and it's still May, and listen, the Braves are going to run away with this division. So I'm not talking about the Mets ever regenerating to the point where they make this unexpected move and start battling the Braves for NL East supremacy. I don't expect that at all. And I also think that there's a really good chance that this little flicker of hope that the Mets have dropped on their fan base, which is good for the fans, I don't know how long it's going to last. I really don't. Now, I'm not prepared to say that it's as unsalvageable as it was a while ago. I mean, and if you say that, then I think you're being a little bit unfair to the Mets. I think the one thing that is absolutely true is that you got the Yankees kind of inching in the wrong direction, and you got the Mets inching in the right direction, which is what's going to make this weekend a whole hell of a lot of fun. If this, I don't know, is this the start of Juan Soto going on a little heater? I don't know. I mean, a big base hit yesterday, home run, straightaway center. We could be, think about this, Met fans, we could be in a very, very different place right now. Like, even though the Yankees, I don't like the way they look all of a sudden, and I'll get more into the Yankees in a moment, but like the Mets, if that's 1/8 of an inch, maybe lower on the leg or in the wrong spot, I mean, Juan Soto might be gone for 2 months with a fractured fib or a tib or whatever. Like, that thing was perilously close to, I really compromising Juan Soto's season. And the fact that he's already missed games with the calf injury, missed 15 games, Juan Soto's numbers right now are obviously very low for Juan Soto. And because he missed, a couple of weeks of time, he's not going to really be afforded many months where he doesn't produce. Otherwise, Juan Soto's numbers at the end of this year are going to look pretty freaking paltry. Not that I expect that, but he just doesn't have a lot of wiggle room at this point. So, it's crazy too. I don't listen. I mean, to drop a prediction on this weekend is really the height of idiocy. I do. Who the hell knows? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do think Cam Schlittler will pitch really well tonight, and I am looking forward to watching Cam digging against Soto or Soto digging against Cam. I mean, that's going to be good stuff. And you got a couple of fun pitching matchups here. But I'm not going to, the Mets will sweep, the Yankees. I don't know. I mean, if I had to put money on something, one of the two teams is going to win 2 out of 3. I don't think there's a sweep either way. But imagine, see, this is the fragility of a baseball season. And I've always told you, right, even though I lead the charge as much as anybody because I turn into an emotional mess during the high points and the low points for these teams. You guys know that about me. I don't run from that. But a week ago, the Yanks are flying high, almost projecting that 1998 energy where they just refuse to lose. And I described, and I still believe this, but they got to get it going again. I describe this Yankee team as a team that's got a real aversion, like a real distaste to losing. They hate losing. And I think that's a great characteristic that even some of these Yankee teams that have won 90-plus games over the last X amount of years haven't always shown. I like the grit with this team. I do not like, 4 or 5 automatic outs trotting out there every single night. And the Yankees got to get their act together. But contrast where the Yankees were, a week ago, and now bring it back to where the Mets were a week ago. If the Mets, this is a massive if, but I just want to paint an image here. If the Mets were to sweep the Yankees this weekend, and the Mets have won 7 of 10, the Yankees have lost 6 of 10, if that were to happen, we're going to reconvene on Monday, and the Mets will be 21-25. And in the grand context, not incredibly impressive, but given the nuance of the season, I mean, that would represent a massive win. So if the Mets win 3 games, they're 21-25. And then the Yankees, conversely, will be 27-20. And all of a sudden now a bad week becomes a bad 10 days, a bad 12, 13 days. And then you got to see what it morphs into. We got to see what's going on with Max Fried. We got to see when Garrett Cole's coming back. We've got to see some of these stiffs who just cannot hit and are automatic outs wake up. And it is amazing where, and by the way, the answer is probably somewhere in between. The Yankees probably were never quite as good as they looked at their apex this year, beating some bad teams. They're definitely not this team that has lost 6 of 10 and kind of just stumbling all over themselves. And, I don't expect the Mets to go on some 60-something winning percentage clip where they're going to, defy the odds and find a way to win 90-plus games. I think best case right now, best case scenario for the Mets, best case, they are a wild card team with, 87, 88 wins. And that's best case. All right. And then Yankees best case, Yankees win the division. I know Tampa's playing very good ball, and Yankees are 2 back right now. Best case for the Yankees, they win 97, 98. Fried's fine. Rotation's on lock when everybody gets back. Bullpen gets better when some starters move there. But there's a lot of unresolved issues right now with both of these teams. And the one thing, and this is always fun in baseball, and you don't really get this. It doesn't feel this way with football. It doesn't even really always feel this way in the NBA. But when you've got a team like the Mets that have looked very stale and are not built the right way, like we know that, okay? It doesn't mean they can't make something of their season, but they're not built well. Stearns has been a disaster. He's target number 1 for every Met fan right now. But something about baseball, when you bring up kids, especially when you bring up kids who can run and, who got a little athletic juice, it starts to feel different quick. Whether or not that's going to sustain itself, and I told you, I watching Benj in the spring, I'm like, I like him. I don't care if he comes out and hits 170 in April and he scuffles, which he has at points. I like him. He's a ball player, and he's the kind of guy, he's the kind of young player that can impact you favorably, positively, even when he's 0 for 4. Score from first on a double, beat out a double play, swipe a bag, score on a hard hit ball to the outfield from second, beats the throw, slides in safe. That youthful energy. The Mets needed it. And I do think that it's reinstilled some belief within the Met fan base, which is a good thing. Now, let me do this here, right? I used to do this with Sal a lot. Let me just go. I've got a database. I got to pop this up. I'm curious. I have not checked this all year because it's too early. I just want to see something here. So, and provided this pops up and it doesn't take all day to get there, come on. All right, here we go. So, I want to see right now, and it's early, but it's worth the read. Subway Series, almost Memorial Day, when we start kind of taking stock of where everybody is. So, I go to the standings on this database, and they've got some advanced analytics like, postseason probability, divisional supremacy probability, projected win total. Right now, and I'll play the game with you. Right now, start with the Yankees. The Yankees are projected to win 95.3 games. I would say, I mean, there was a point where I'm like, I think they might win 100. Slightly over, not mine. I think that's a pretty good number. 95, 96, 94. 95.3 is the number I'm looking at. 62% chance. And by the way, what they do is already they factor in who you've played, strength of schedule, and there's a lot of schedule that remains, obviously. But just to let you know what goes into the analytics behind these projections. All right, so Yankees are at a 62% chance to win the division, and the Yankees a very robust. I mean, the Yankees are making the playoffs no matter what. They always do. 98.5% chance to make the playoffs. Now, those are numbers like if you ask me blindly. As a matter of fact, I'll do the Mets blindly as well. I'm not looking at it. I actually stopped the page before I got to the NL. If you asked me to do this before I actually looked at the American League and the Yankees, I probably would have been in that vicinity. I think maybe, I think the win total probably would have been spot on. I probably would have said 95. I think I would have gone a little higher for the divisional, maybe low 70s. And then, in terms of playoff possibility, basically 100%, 98, 99%. The Mets, I'm going to give this a blind read. The Mets, I'm going to say, my projection, see how it marries with theirs. I'm still not fully buying it. I do like what I've seen the last week and a half or so. Seeing some signs, seeing a little spunk, seeing a little fight, seeing a little conviction. Without Lindor, who eventually will be back, Alvarez gone. Not that he's really good, but you got to factor that in a little bit. I'm going to say the Mets, I'm going to say 81 wins, and I'm almost inclined to go a tick lower. I'm going to go 80 wins for the Mets. I'm going to say less than 5% probability for the division, and I'm going to give the Mets about a wild card, six back, 35% for the playoffs. All right. Let's see. So 80 wins, 5% division, 35% playoffs. The Mets are, the Mets are 74.2%. They've got literally zero, which to me makes no sense. I mean, that's something Sal would always bang on to it. And he wasn't wrong. So I'm looking at this now, 0% chance to win the division. It's May. I mean, I get it. I'm not saying that they're going to come anywhere near it, but at least leave the door slightly ajar. 1%, half, slightly less than 1%, something. I mean, throw a couple of zeros in there with a decimal, but zero? No. And okay, this is that. And a 3.7% chance to win the division. So, listen, all the Subway Series stuff, and it's, largely manufactured. Some people are a little tired of it. I still enjoy it. Listen, there's just more energy when the Yankees and the Mets play than when the Yankees play the Orioles or the Mets play the Marlins or whatever. Outside of Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, Phillies, Mets, Braves, Yankees, Dodgers, Interleague, whatever it might be. I still think that there's a lot of juice. The fans still like it. And really, that's all that matters. As long as the fans are into it and they're enjoying this, and the stadium's going to be sold out this weekend. Obviously, Yankee Stadium's pretty much always sold out no matter who's coming in, especially on the weekend. But when the Mets roll in later in the season, that will be sold out no matter what's happening. And, what felt like it was going to be an absolute Bronx takeover for the next 3 days when the Mets were languishing. There'll be a little bit more Mets energy in there today and over the weekend, and there should be. I don't know if they sustain it. But at least the intrigue now is if at least the Mets have shown a spark. I mean, God, otherwise they were showing up with a toe tag already, for this series. And, if you would have had, think about it, really, it going back a week or so ago, I would have thought that it would be the complete antithesis of what it's actually right now. I thought the Yankees would be rolling. I thought the Mets would be dead. And here we are. The Mets are rolling and the Yankees are tripping all over themselves because their lineup stinks and their bullpen has thrown up all over themselves too many times when they've tried to protect leads. So I'm into it. I would say somebody's going to win 2 out of 3. I think it's going to be the Yankees, really only because I really like the pitching matchup tonight, even though I've got a lot of respect for Clay Holmes. And who knows, maybe the Yankees bang that sinker into the ground and they hit into a couple of double plays and the Yankees just don't hit, which they haven't really been hitting. Who knows? and it's hard to elevate that sinker, so I wouldn't expect a ton of home runs from the Yankees tonight, but it does feel different, one, than I thought it would feel, and two, subsequently, it's got a layer of interest and intrigue that I'm ready for. I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited for the weekend, and if the Yankees sweep them, now the Mets go back in their hole, and the Yankee fans, thump the chest, and the Yankee fans feel really good about how there's been a little bit of a recalibration after this sloppy play. If the Mets sweep, and even if the Mets win 2 or 3, I think there's a chance that, like almost, I want to say the entire tone of the Mets season changes, but like, I don't want to go nuts here, but I did have conviction in the Mets coming into the season. So it would be more consistent with what I thought the Mets would be. I didn't think that they'd be wretched. I liked what they did this offseason. Crazy thing is Polanco's not playing tonight. Luis Robert's not playing tonight. But the one thing that I liked about the Mets, and I obviously thought Lindor would be healthy and Soto would have better numbers, whatever. He wouldn't have missed 15 games. But like the reason I thought the Mets could be interesting this year, and I had them at 91 wins, is because when you start with a rotation of Peralta and McClain, I mean, that's giving you a chance to be really good. And then you throw in somebody like Soto, who's a great hitter, and the other pieces that I don't love, but like some of the other pieces. I didn't think the Mets would look like this to start the year, So it is on, J-Rod. I am excited for the Subway Series. Now, this is a game that you've got to go to one of these games. You went to the Yankee game.
I know. I'm thinking about I'm definitely thinking about Sunday. I got my cousin's bat mitzvah this weekend, so I'm thinking this Sunday. I'm gonna try to go to Citi Field.
Now, what is the theme of the bat mitzvah here? What do we have going on? Specific theme?
I don't think so. I think it's just kind of like a daytime function sort of deal.
That's it? No big theme?
No, I honestly don't think so.
You guys raking the money, don't you, with the bar mitzvahs and the bar mitzvahs, don't you?
It really
That's like the Jewish wedding. Here come the envelopes. Let's go.
Come on, you got that, and then you got you got the bat mitzvah, and then you got the Jewish wedding later on. You got the double whammy.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
But yeah, no, I mean, depending on your party size. But when you're that kid, you never it depends, but I feel like you never see the dough. Like I've never seen the money I had for my bar mitzvah. I think maybe I used it on a couple vacations. Like,
your parents took it?
Yeah, big time. Put it away. Come on now.
Whoa, now hold on. They put it away for you, or they put it away?
Yes.
Okay. That's the right move. That's a win. Yeah.
I mean, although I do think I used a good amount of it on like going to I went to Europe my junior year. So I think maybe some of that, but yeah, for the most part, I feel like most of the time you just keep that packet away.
Yes, you do. Now, when you went to Europe, did you hit Amsterdam? I know you were.
Come on now, of course. I don't know if we've ever spoken. Yeah, dude.
No, we haven't touched on that.
I mean, London is like my old time. I love that city, but Amsterdam, great number 2, dude.
Now they've got the I've heard so many. Now listen, I'm at the point now. Number 1 to me, not that I wouldn't do it, but and maybe I'm off base with this, but if you're going to Amsterdam, right? To me, now I almost went to Greece for our honeymoon. We wound up going to Costa Rica instead. But,
okay.
And we're looking at a family trip, either Scotland or Ireland, play some golf right down. Not this summer, probably next summer. But I think that, like, to go to Amsterdam with your wife, I don't know. Wouldn't you rather go with the boys?
Yeah, I don't know. Amsterdam with your wife would be kind of funny. Like, it is a scenic place.
Yeah.
It's not, but like, you don't want to, not to get too crazy. You don't want to walk around the red light district with your wife.
Yeah, unless she's into it.
Yeah, hey, maybe.
Yeah.
Be looking through the glass, just going, oh my gosh.
I know.
Like,
I know.
It is a kind of, it's a very beautiful city. So I understand that in that sense, where the river is gorgeous. The buildings are gorgeous. If you leave the city, oh my, like the landscapes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a very degenerate place at heart. Like,
but it's like Europe's Vegas without the gambling to an extent. Whatever you want, you go get.
As you say, like, it's the only place I think I've seen where you could bang back heaters, as you would say, in an indoor space.
That's
like,
amazing.
It is
I know.
It is a wild city. Bar, literally a bar is every spot. Don't even get me started on the greenery.
Are you talking about the weed bars or just regular?
Everything, because the bars will be both an alcohol bar, but it'll be a bar with weed inside. Like, they just smell terrible, dude.
Well, they might smell terrible, but you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
Well, they give you
by the end of the night, you're literally like stumbling around. Like,
God
You're
almighty.
just lying on the streets there.
Yeah, it's probably good that I never went when I was younger. But when you go, they give you a menu, right? And you just get to pick the different strains and everything.
It's kind of like that. I mean, it's similar to like some of them are more similar to like a New York-based shop, but a lot of them are kind of a communal space where you're just sitting. They've got like crazy ventilation. It's a fun city. It's a fun city.
All right. Let me read this here. Let me see. Yanks 4-6 in their last 10. Now if they get swept and Fried's out for weeks, and they've got Toronto and Tampa next. Oh boy, get ready. That is a very good. That's a good message. Hopefully it's not a prescient one here. Like, I don't want that to happen, because just imagine that. Like, it's not worst case because you worded weeks with Fried and not months. And I don't think it's going to be months. I would like an update. Jeez, but if the Yankees get swept, now number one, instead of losing 6 of 10, now they have lost, whatever. I don't know why my brain's not firing today, but you know the math. It's worse than losing 6 of 10. God, that's such basic stuff, but it's not coming to me. Number one, right? And then you got to deal with the nonsense, and I don't really care about this, but the Met fans going to be strutting around. And listen, if the Met fans sweep the Yankees, that you got to do that. If you don't do that, what happened? And if the Yankee, I believe if the Mets sweep the Yankees, the Met fan, like they're always going to act a little more giddy because they don't know how to win as much. I mean, no disrespect to the Met fan, I love you, but when you haven't won since Run DMC was pumping out, Peter Piper in 1986, you don't really know how to act sometimes when you win. Whereas the Yankee fan, and of course some of these younger Yankee fans, they'll be over the top and they'll be, impossible to be around, but. I think the Yankee fan kind of expects to sweep, even though they're not playing well, whereas the Met fan, I don't think that they expect to sweep. So you'd have a little different energy there. But then you throw in the Fried stuff, even if it is weeks, he's not pitching for a while, if that's the case. So you're not playing well. You come to 3 more losses, and then you got Fried out for a couple of more weeks based on that chat, and then you've got to deal with Toronto and Tampa. And Yankees haven't played a whole lot of good teams yet, and when they have not played well. And what are they, 1-9 or 1-8 against good teams? I mean, they've beaten up on some shitty teams here. Now, that's also part of being a good team and, pumping out, 94, 95, 96 wins, the amount that you need to, make sure you secure a division and certainly make sure you're a top wild card. And the Yankees are always good at that. They always beat the bad teams. Like, you never have to really worry about the Yankees not showing up and not obliterating bad teams. So they're going to get to that requisite win total no matter what. I mean, I'm not worried about that. That's why I really do think that the intrigue here lies more with the Mets. It just lies with the Mets. You just never know, from humble beginnings where, all right, win a couple of games on the road during that last road trip. Okay, get a little payback on the Rockies. Oh, man, didn't play well against the Diamondbacks. And then, boom. You respond nicely right away. Win against the Tigers. And the Met fans feeling pretty good about themselves right now. So you got Schlittler, Holmes. I think you got Rodon. I don't think the Mets have announced their starter tomorrow. I checked this morning. I don't think they have yet. And then Weathers Peralta is going to be a lot of fun on Sunday. And I cannot wait to, I'm not saying he's Randy Johnson here, but it's a lot of fun watching Weathers, who's got, the ability to bring no-hit stuff out of the pen every time he pitches because he's flat out filthy, man. And he almost threw on the other night against Baltimore. So it is lined up for the Yankees to either stifle that momentum, give them the Heisman. All right, Mets, you had fun for 7, 8, 9 days. Get back in your hold. You're going nowhere. It's going to be a 74, 75, 76 win season. Get out of here. Or the Mets do that to the Yankees, and now the Yankee fears become amplified. The noise around the Yankees gets louder and louder and louder. The Mets continue to play good, solid, crisp baseball, and you just don't know where things are going to go. You don't know when there's a lot of variables too. You don't know when Lindor's coming back. You don't know when Max Fried's coming back. As much as I've sat here and I believe it, but it's still got to come to fruition. Until I see Garrett Cole on a major league mound looking something like Garrett Cole, you can't say it's a given, even though I presented it as a given. I mean, I know he's going to come back, but, is he going to be Garrett Cole? Is he going to be 50% of Garrett Cole, which to me wouldn't be good enough? Is he going to be 80, 85%, which would be good enough, in my opinion? I don't know. I don't have those answers yet, but it's going to be fun, and I cannot wait. Subway Series, weather's going to be good tonight. Let's go. All right, we'll get the calls fired up. We'll get into the chats. I'll get into the Jets and the Giants schedule. I got a little something on the Cavs and the Pistons tonight. First up, who do we have today, J-Rod? Let's get those phones humming.
Got our buddy Frankie in Monroe.
Frankie. What up there, Frank?
Good morning, Brandon. What's happening? Hey, listen,
good,
I don't want to get too excited, right? I'm a 65-year-old Yankee fan.
Okay.
I've seen many iterations of this team. Dude, we have 4 or 5 guys in the lineup every night that are at 200 or under 200.
Oh.
When did that become okay?
It's not.
Like what are we doing? Like, are we gonna start making some move? Let's package these kids. Let's get some ball players here. I don't care what. We gotta win now. We gotta win now.
And by the way, just Frank, hold on. Just for clarity purposes, when you say win now, you mean win this year. I know you want to. You don't mean this weekend, even though you want to win this weekend. But
forget about that. This year,
I hear you, man.
We're not gonna have. We might not have baseball next year, right?
Yep.
Judge is running out of time. Listen, we got 4 guys in the lineup that are good. Chisholm is okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Not Chisholm, Caballero.
I like Cabby. Yeah.
Everybody else stinks.
They do. Yep.
They stink.
Yep.
I don't know what the answer is, but there's got to be one.
Well, I'm going to give you what the answer is. And before I do that, and thank you for the call there, Frank. Enjoy the games. Let's go, Yanks. From our point of view, Met fans, let's go. Where are you at? Come on. Let's represent a little here, Met fan. I mean, Grisham, even though, it's just, it is what it is. I've said everything I need to say about Grisham. I mean, I don't think he's going to hit 175 this year, which is where he's at now. Jazz is at 203, and Jazz is on my last nerve. I would either trade him. And I asked Boone the other day, straight up, I said, hey, if this thing doesn't improve with Jazz Chisholm, is there a chance he's going to be a platoon player? And he did not run from that. Like, everything's on the table for the Yankees this year. I really believe that. When Caballero comes back, Lombard, the average is low in the minors, right? But he's hit the ball hard. You're not going to call him up hitting 180. I get that. And you're not going to call him up, even if he was hitting 330 after a week. You're going to let him marinate down there a little bit. But I asked Boone about Lombard. I fully believe George Lombard will be in pinstripes this year. He will be on the Yankees this year. And if that's the case, and if Jazz doesn't get his act together, Caballero comes back. He's healthy. Cabby at short. You want to throw Lombard at second, or probably, more logically, you put Lombard at short. You put Caballero at second, or Volpe's actually doing something. And poor Volpe's just thrust into the, hey, welcome back, buddy. You boot a routine ground to your first game back. Everybody's all over you. Nobody and I'm not saying me, but most of you want you gone. Nobody really believes in you. You make an error your first game back. You strike out, and here we go. Just thrust right into the energy of the Subway Series. Go get him, buddy. Like, that's tough. That's going to test your mental resolve. But if Volpe can actually piece something together, well, you do have a lot of options, and that's how I address Frankie's call. Like, how does it get better? Where does it get better? Well, if Ryan McMahon is still hitting I know he's been a little bit better lately, but Ryan McMahon's hitting $196. For all the progress that Ryan McMahon had for those 3 weeks, he's not even hitting 200. So you got Grisham at $175, Jazz at 203, McMahon at 196, Volpe, it's 1 game, 0. But, it's not like he's a 290 hitter. He's a 220 hitter for his career. So you'd have to think he's probably going to be in that neighborhood again, because I have seen no mechanical fixes in the small samples, swinging the same exact way, which means he's susceptible to the same exact stuff, which means he's going to be an easy out again until proven otherwise, low average. And then Austin Wells, who, I was right and I was wrong on Austin Wells, because I remember saying that 2 years ago, Austin Wells is going to be a 20, 25 home run guy, and he is. I mean, now he's got 5 RBIs, and it's the middle of May. He's got 3 home runs, 5 ribbies. I mean, good God. And that's almost hard to do when you basically play every day. How can you play this amount of games and have 5 freaking RBIs, dude? It's just, it's inconceivable to think that your production could be that bad. But he's a low average guy. Now he's on base a little bit more than Volpe. He does draw some walks. Not that I'm hanging my hat on that, but there are a lot of automatic outs in this Yankee lineup. And the only way it changes is for Lombard to earn a promotion at some point, whenever that, it could be in July, whatever. At some point, he's going to be here. And then you're going to have to piece together and make some tough decisions, whether you trade Jazz, whether you send Volpe back down to the minors, whether it's Lombard at short or Caballero at short or, let's say Volpe's showing something and Lombard gets the elevation and Caballero, somebody you want to play every day. I mean, I don't know. Is it completely off the table that at some point this year, whenever that is, you see, Caballero at third base or Rosario against the lefties, and then, Lombard at shortstop, or, Cabby at third, Lombard at short, and Volpe at second? I mean, I don't know if the Yankees are really willing to now have Volpe learn a new position in the middle of a season when he's trying to figure out how to hit at this level. That's probably not an easy thing to do. But those are some internal options, and the external options, either you make a trade for Mike Trout or, and I don't wish this for my boy Donnie Baseball, the Phillies, who have really played well for Mattingly, they reverse course and they fall apart, and you try to trade for Bryce Harper or something. Like, you just, this lineup's going to be addressed. There's no way it's not going to be addressed. It's got to be addressed. So, just a lot of dead weight there, man. It is some ugly stuff. Really, some of the advanced numbers on the Yankees are painfully bad. I mean, whether it's batting average with 2 strikes or, how they play against teams over 500. Some situational stats are not incredibly kind to them. I mean, listen, you've seen this. You saw it against Baltimore the other night, and you saw it over the weekend in Milwaukee where the Yankees had a chance to tack on a run. Think about the at-bat. Judge double. You got a little ground ball right side, textbook baseball. Belly pulls it, gets something he can pull. Boom, Judge to third, Jazz swinging like he's a skinny Babe Ruth, punch out. And you leave a run on the table, and it cost you. And, that's not just an isolated example. Like, it's not like the Yankees are so good at that, so buttoned up at that, where I'm like, that's a long season, and you're not going to do it every time. There's too many issues or too many nights where they do that rather than doing it effectively, I mean, they're rolling out 3 good hitters right now. You got Judge, you got Rice, you got Bellinger. That's it. And I know that everybody's selling me, oh, no, Grisham's this, Grisham that. It's hitting 175. Like, don't waste my time. When you're hitting listen, it's one thing if you're hitting 220, 226, 231, and you lift up the hood and you see, expected on base, expected slugging, barrel rate, walk rate, K rate favorable, hard hit rate. Don't even, and I love that, but I don't want to hear it when you're hitting $175. Not interested. I'm just not. I know my guy Boone says it, but he knows I'm not interested in hearing about Grisham. I don't want to hear about Boney. What do we got here? Mets are going to take a couple of games here. The Blind Bear 52-06. Well, I mean, they might. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say the Mets can't win. They very well might. I would say for the Mets to win 2, you better win tonight. And I don't think you're beating Schlittler. And I'm not saying this with incredible confidence. Even if Schlittler wins, I could see the Yankees losing, the next 2. I mean, obviously, I could see Rodon having a rough outing. Weathers Peralta would probably be more of a battle of the bullpen because Peralta's not going to give you great length. Weathers has shown the ability to do that. But if you don't get that, Yankees are being, and the Mets as well, but the Yankees are going to be called upon to give the baseball to whether it's a Doval or Bednar, who always makes you sweat, who's better than Doval, but still, and he's not Mariano, he's not Goose. It's going to be an interesting weekend of evaluation on the baseball diamond. Can't wait for it. I really am ready for it. I'm ready for it. I'm going to get into the Jets and the Giants schedule in a bit. Dominguez, when he comes back, needs to lead off. Yeah, I would actually like that. I don't think it'll really happen with any sort of frequency. I asked Aaron Boone the other day, like, why would you just not, even against lefties, I don't care. I don't want to hear about splits and stuff because he's shown enough he can hit lefties. So, I would just literally bat Ben Rice first every single game. Every single game. All right, he's not going to run. But when the hell when does Grisham steal the base? He's for a center fielder. I don't think he runs well at all. I know he tracks most of the balls, but on the bases, I don't think he does anything on the bases. He doesn't try to run. and, doubling the gap from first base. Not like he's flying around like Jazz or Volpe or Dominguez. Those guys can run. So, yeah, I'm done with him as a leadoff man. You know that. Rice 1, Judge 2. So you got a lefty. Then you go Judge 2. Then you go, and I just want to write this out. I want to make sure I don't miss anything because I did bring this up to Aaron, and I understand his answer, and he could only jot down the names, but the Yankees are very lefty laden, too much so. It's funny. They went years ago when they had no lefties like Brett Gardner, and that was about it. They had all righties, which makes no sense for a team that plays 81 games at a stadium with a fence that's 314 feet away. I mean, listen, there's been basically two constants in the Yankee universe forever. Number one, you better have some left-handed pitching to neutralize the opponent's lefty sticks with the short porch, whether it's a Pettit, whether it's a Guidry, whether it's Whitey Ford, all those lefties, right? And the other thing that you always better have is lefty thump, right? And they didn't have lefty thump. And now they've almost got, maybe not enough thump, but too many lefties. So they need a little bit more balance in this lineup. And obviously, if Dominguez, and I know a smaller sample, looked better from the right side in the minors and before he got hurt, but they don't. I can promise you, Boone's not going to run him out there first ever. He didn't trust him enough. So with that, I've got to operate with what I would do, and then also weigh in and factor in what I believe and what I know he's inclined to do and not to do. So again, this is not a perfect lineup I'm going to construct here, but let me see: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to work it now with the current lineup, and I'm going to put, Caballero is going to be back real soon. So why the hell you hit him? I'd rather him first than Grisham, but I would go Rice 1, and I've said that. And I said to Aaron, I'm like, if Ohtani can hit first, come on. Ben Rice could hit first, right? So I would go Rice 1, lefty, obviously Judge 2, righty. I'm going Belly 3, lefty. And that speed too. When he beat out that double play the other night, like that's one of the things about Bellinger. It's just a baseball player. That's one of the reasons I'm so happy he stayed. Rice, Judge, Belly. All right. And now you got to start thinking here. Like, if Stanton was healthy and Stanton was here, and easy, pencil him in, righty. Not healthy, and he never is. So he's not even running yet. So you can't do that with him. I guess you can do. I could play this game all day, but I just know that they're not going to do certain things. I was going to, try to construct a lineup here with Cabby first, or I'm not even going to do it. Like they need to make a move at some point. I think we all know this, and the Mets are going to have to make a move. And it's crazy too, because talking about the moves that the Yankees are going to need to make at some point, high leverage bullpen arm or righty stick at some point. That's why Mike Trout will be great. I don't care how much is left on his contract. I don't care. And I know he's revitalized this year. You throw Mike Trout in a pennant race, with 40,000 there every night with Judge, and they're boys too. Are you kidding me? He's a righty. He could run. He could, it solves everything. So I've talked about what I think the Yankees are going to need to do. And, it's funny. Up until this recent surge here, we were beginning to talk about on a very cursory level, because I wanted to be fair, because it is early. We were beginning to talk about, all right, are the Mets going to trade Peralta? Are they going to have a fire sale and get rid of Bichette? It was looking that way. Really. Mendy was hanging by a thread. Everybody can't stand Stearns. Cohen is getting knocked around a little bit in the court of public opinion right now. Soto was hurt. Lindor is hurt. And here we go, but we have learned here, J-Rod. We have learned, or at least I have learned, and many of you should learn, to not be as definitive, not to dig in quite to the point in May or even in June with a baseball team like we usually do. Can we at least learn that lesson? Just a little prudence, a little caution, a little understanding. It's a long race. Doesn't mean we can't talk about holes. Doesn't mean we can't get worked up. But to have that finality attached to it, that definitive take, no way can they make the playoffs. Have to sell everybody like the Mets, or the Yankees cannot win with this. Like, everybody relax and just enjoy baseball for what it is. It's a nightly thing of beauty when they're playing well, and it's a nightly source of consternation when they're not. That's what baseball is in this town. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, and it's interesting to see how quickly the fire Mendoza, all these, obviously you're still hearing fire David Stearns here and there, no doubt about that.
And they can't stand them.
But like the Mendoza talks have really quieted since they've gotten a little better. And obviously that makes sense. So now it's like, and I think for him, now that they've had this little stretch, he's likely safe for the rest of the season.
No,
you don't think so? Unless
easy, young buck. Let's not go nuts here.
You think if it really goes way back down, it could get turbulent?
Yes, absolutely, I do. I mean, David Stearns has already been asked twice when he does his press conference every couple of weeks about the manager's job security. And, that's something else I learned. Like, just because it's good now doesn't mean it's going to remain that way. And I really do. I hope not, because I like Mendy. I don't think he's a great man. I think he's okay. I think he's got some flaws, and I don't think this Mets roster is going anywhere the way they're built now. Mm-hmm. But no, I think that is naive. With all due respect to you, to my guy J-Rod, like to think that just because they've kind of salvaged and stabilized things now, that if the turbulence comes back, and I don't mean like if they lose 2 out of 3 this weekend and then lose 2 more in the next series, that he's going to get fired. I'm not saying that, but there's a lot of baseball to go. And one thing about baseball, the beauty of baseball, it's there every night. It's a companion, and that's good when things are good. When things are bad, that becomes a massive issue for whomever's job is on the line, whatever it might be. So I wouldn't agree with that. I don't know that to be true. Maybe Stearns' arrogance will prevent him from doing something because he brought him in. He's his guy, and if he fires Stearns, there's no body to put up. Pardon me. If he fires Mendy, there's no body literally to put in front of him to take the heat from the Met fans, because once Mendoza's gone, I mean, it's already towards Stearns. But if Mendy's gone, now he got nowhere to hide, nobody to shield him.
Yeah.
Good talk there, Jay. Good talk.
Yes, sir.
What else? Oh, and by the way, the thing about Mendoza, like I listen, there are times when things come up that I think are premature, unfair, unfounded, and we've just got to give somebody a little time to establish themselves. I just think that that happens in New York. It happens in certain cities nationally, Philly, Boston, Chicago. LA. Sometimes we know the cities, right, that are just at a little bit of a different speed or laced with either negativity or just rawness, whatever it might be. But I was saying about Mendoza, to be fair, I was saying this at the end of last year. I remember saying on the fan several times, I'm like, hey, he had a really good first year. He had an awful second year. And I documented a lot of things, whether it's pinch running or bullpen mismanagement or playing Vientos at third base too much over Beatty, who can pick it much better. Like, I don't need to, again, go through it all, but I gave you tangible reasons why Mendoza had an awful year last year. Now, other people have different opinions. I don't agree with that. I mean, I just thought he was bad, all right? But having said that, to be fair to Carlos Mendoza, who I do think is a good baseball man, because year one was so unexpectedly good and the vibes were good and the young players were showing progress, Vientos, etc. To me, year 3 would be the ultimate evaluation. So but I did clearly establish if it's not good in year 3, I don't care how early it is, I would fire him. I have said that, and I stand by that. So I do think that will resurface at some point, because as much as I'm hopeful, because I want to see both teams do well, not this weekend, it's better for business. It's more enjoyable when both teams are good and viable, and it also keeps the possibility of a Subway Series alive, which, as a Yankee fan, I say bring on. A lot of Met fans don't want the smoke, which I don't understand. I remember, Evan, when was it? I guess it would have been a couple of years ago when let's see, in 24, right? When the Yankees made the World Series and the Mets had this really good run. And like a lot of Met fans who were great Met fans, they didn't want to play the Yankees in the World Series. Now, of course, I hear that. I take that as, oh, what are you scared? Kind of messing around. Oh, you don't want that Yankee smoke, and the Yankees own you. Hey, let's go. 2000, last time it happened, advantage Yankees. And I just think it would be so off the charts insane that I'm all for it. Like, I think that would be great for the city, revenue, energy, focus, attention. We would just own it. Like, New York would own MLB. But if I recollect correctly here, it wasn't so much that Evan didn't want to play the Yankees because he thought that, we can't beat the Yankees. It wasn't that. It was more about not wanting to share the stage with the Yankees. And I guess I get that to an extent, but put myself in Evan's shoes and, all the Met fans, whether it's Loogie, Sal, all the Met fans, I would, if I'm subscribing to that, like, hey, I want the Yankees out so that I'm playing, the Red Sox or whomever in the American League, and all the juice in New York is about the Mets. I do understand that. Like, that's a rational thought. But then why I would still want to face the Yankees in the World Series if I'm the Mets, if I'm a Met fan, is because now I get the chance for the ultimate trump card. Here's my chance. Here's my dagger. Because I got news for everybody. All the bullshit about owning the city, and here come the Mets, and little brother and big brother, my ass. All that stuff that everybody was throwing out there, which I never got into. But it's funny, whatever. It doesn't mean a damn thing until, number one, you win a World Series, okay? Number one. You could get Juan Soto. Hell, you could convince Aaron Judge to demand a trade to go to Queens and, Fried if he's healthy, and Schlittler. And if they go there and don't win, what does it mean? Which is part of the reason why some of these Mets takes, I think, have been really misguided, But with that being said, if I do get there and now I beat the Yankees, the equity and what I have and the ability to hold that over your head, honestly, depending upon how old you are, it really could be for the rest of your life. Because, 2000's almost 3 decades ago. You know what I mean? And just all the different variables. And before you know it, Judge won't be Judge and Judge will be retired. And who knows what the next phase of the Yankees looks like, if they're even good enough to be penciled in for, 93, 94, 95 wins every year. I mean, at some point, the gravy train's going to end and things are going to get lean. It got lean after Mantle. It got lean after, obviously, it didn't get lean right after the 70s because they were good in the early 80s. But then, and as great as Mattingly was and as great as Ricky was for the 5 years and Winfield, 77 and 78 and then 81 losing in the World Series. I mean, they didn't get back there till 96. So I don't take things for granted. But I just, for the life of me, I don't understand, if I am a Met fan, why I would not want to face the Yankees in the World Series. I mean, now, understand, if you are a Met fan and you do want that, well, now the potential to, just shove it down a Yankee fan's throat forever. And let's face it, you guys, some of you say that you're not motivated by that. That actually drives many Met fans. Like, I'm not saying that they want to beat the Yankees more than they want the Mets to win, but it's pretty close. Like, I can promise you that relationship is a whole hell of a lot closer than the Yankee fans' desire to win and the Yankee fans' desire to beat the Mets. I mean, I just like it because it would be fun, and I think it would be all-time insane. But, beating the Mets doesn't do a damn thing for me outside of 2000 would have really meant something. So I don't know. I mean, it's almost like if you don't face the Yankees again for a championship, you can still kind of hold on to that possibility. Whereas if you do and you lose, well, now it's just confirmed. You really are little brother. And until you're not little brother, you are. You got to win something. So I'm ready for this. I'm getting jacked up as the show's going on, J-Rod. I'm ready. I'm ready for it, man.
I can't. I mean, I can't wait for this weekend. But, dude, that would just be bonkers. A Yankees-Mets World Series would be absolutely crazy,
dude. And here's the thing, too. So in 96, when they won it, I was just out of school. And I told you I was at Game 6. Charlie Hayes, I couldn't see him catch it because I was in the upper deck all the way back behind the plate. I just had to wait for the crowd reaction. So I was obviously, living at my parents', just graduated. In 98, I was working on Wall Street, and I was trying to break into the business. I was tending bar. I was just hustling, trying to break into the business. And I was obviously here. And I remember when they won, I was in Bay Ridge and just celebrated, went absolutely bonkers on 3rd Avenue with all my buddies, right? 99, I was still here as well because, and then I was here for most of it. And then I started my career and I was in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is not far. So I was going, so I don't know, an hour and a half away, whatever, an hour, 40 minutes away from New York. So I was going back and forth to games. I went to a couple of World Series games. So I was able to at least residually enjoy it, even though I was living in PA. In 2000, when we beat the Mets, I was working in Las Vegas.
Wow. Okay.
So I wasn't even in New York for it, man.
Damn.
I want, I wish
He
I was a
needs
little
to
bit
see.
younger. I could really, I'd be out there every, I mean, if they do it this year, if they do it next year, I mean, it comes a point. I'm not going to be on 3rd Avenue in Bay Ridge now. I can promise you that. I'll be, fireplace will be on, and I'll be watching the game with my family. Probably go to a game, but it'll be a totally different viewing experience. I want it. I absolutely want it. So I think that I'm pretty clear about that. But it does confuse me. I have always said that. And I am willing. See, maybe this is the difference. Maybe it's not arrogance. I don't think I'm an arrogant Yankee fan. Some of you might think that I am, but that's fine. But if you really listen to me, you know that I'm not. I am willing to take the chance and run the risk of the Met fan having that last laugh because I'm number one, I'm confident that the Yankees would win. And think about that. I don't even know who's going to be in the lineups at this point in this fictitious 2026 Subway Series in October. But, to maintain that leverage over the Met fan, you've got to be willing to lose. And I am. I am. So, but it doesn't seem like the majority of Met fans are either way. It's going to be fun this weekend. I'm excited. Yankees look awful. Mets showing a little pulse. Schlittler tonight against Holmes, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, I want to get into the Jets and the Giants schedule, a little hoops over the weekend as well. More favorable matchup for the Knicks. Cavs or Pistons. I'm going back and forth on this. I really am. Let me see. And, that's right. No Rules Friday. What's my favorite 80s comedy flick? Wow. Oh, man. Yeah, that's right, guys. If you're new to the show, and I appreciate the super chat, Major League, appreciate that. Great movie, phenomenal. Certainly one of my favorite 80s movies. I don't know if it's number one, but it's up there. God, the 80s were, listen, I love the 80s. I'm never going to run from that. Love 80s music. I love 80s sitcoms. I love 80s movies. I don't know if I love the 80s style. Like some of the 80s style were weird, like the jeans and just the way we wore stuff and some of the hairstyles. I don't know if I was, in hindsight, some of the suits they wore on Wall Street, like in Wall Street, phenomenal movie in the 80s. Comedy. Boy. Dumb and Dumber was the 90s. That's one of my favorites. I must have watched that 5,000 times with my buddies. Caddyshack was late 70s or early 80s. I think that was very
1980.
Yeah, I was going to say very early 80s, as early as it gets. Caddyshack
Ferris
is up
Bueller's 80s.
Oh, I used to watch that all the time.
That's a good one.
All the time. Yeah. Ferris. Great movie. Man, Ferris is on the
Ridgemont
list.
High 80s.
Yeah, I liked Ridgemont. I mean,
It's not my favorite. I'm a bigger Dazed and Confused guy.
I could see that. I liked, The Breakfast Club was great.
Classic. That's all time.
Stupid.
Yo, was Warriors 80s? That must have
reloading son of a big mouth, know-it-all a-hole jerk.
Was the Warriors 80s?
Lazy and disrespectful. I know every word in. You know what? I think I might say Breakfast Club. I really might.
Good.
That's good.
Was the Warriors 1980s? Sorry.
Well, that's okay. As I was delivering my lines there. Warriors, I thought that's not a comedy, but I thought Warriors was 79.
Okay.
That could have been 80. I don't think it was 81. I felt like that was late 70s. That was really like Escape from New York. And there was a lot of gritty late 70s New York City movies that I love. But that's not comedy genre to answer his question. So anyway, it is a No Rules Friday. And if you guys wanted to ask anything that you might not ordinarily ask, I'm not saying I'm going to literally answer every single thing if it's some crazy question, but I'll answer almost anything. So get them going. All right, Jay. Can you let's get the Rothenberg Jerry thing up there once more in case anybody's jumping in now. So we're going to get this on Monday. I want to make sure that that this beef is somewhat resolved. We'll get Dave on, who I think is very talented. Don't know him. Just don't know him at all. Texting yesterday. I've been a fan. In a lot of ways, I think we're similar. Like, he's just a nut job on the air. And I relate to that. So I've always liked listening to him. And Jerry's my boy. So I'm going to try to patch this over and smooth it out. So we'll get Dave on either 10:30 or 11 on Monday. And that'll be a blast because these guys keep going back and forth about, I don't know, fandom and watching the draft and watching the Knicks and all this other. I don't know what's going on with these two guys. So I will try to be the good Samaritan. So Dave's going to join me on Monday. All right. Can you get the Jet schedule up there for me? 17-0, baby. Look at those wins. All right. Now, I mean, obviously, you guys have pretty much digested this if you're a Jets fan by now. But, I mean, Jake was saying last night, and he was saying on a show, Jake Asman, part of the Jets Collective, myself and Rich Samini, do it once a week. We did it last night as soon as the schedule dropped, even though we had a lot of the schedule with the leaks. We'll do it twice a week during the season. Go check it out. It's on YouTube. It's awesome. It's just a really fun, good show, and it's growing. It's going to be the number one Jet show out there. That's my mission. That's our mission. So Jake was saying it's a must win. I mean, I thought I was the one with those, those drop dead bottom line, non-negotiable declarations. I mean, Jake is doing it as well. It's not a must win. I mean, you like to win it. Now, I understand why he's saying that because, and Robert Saleh, I really couldn't care less about that. I know what the NFL tries to do. Former coaches, this quarterback's playing his old team, but whatever. I mean, Robert Saleh stunk as a coach for the New York Jets. And really, if you asked me to play any team to start the year based on the teams I knew the Jets would be playing, I'd have to say Tennessee. I mean, I wouldn't mind being at MetLife, although I am going to run another Jets trip in Tennessee. So that's going to be a blast. Awesome city. I'll give you guys details as we get a little bit closer here. I mean, Tennessee stinks, dude. They're terrible. And I don't think Robert Saleh is a good coach. Now, the problem is the Jets stink until further notice. The Jets are terrible, and Aaron Glenn stinks as well. So it's probably like a battle of like lightweights here. But you do have a chance to bag your first win. Now, and they're 1.5-point dogs already. How about that? Jets aren't even favored at Tennessee. My goodness. Not a single primetime game. I don't care about that. See, to me, as the Jets are trying to build this culture, I'm not going to maybe I'll run through every game real fast. I'll do the same for the G-Men real fast, right? But bigger picture, keep that up, Jake. For the first, there's only 5 teams with no primetime games. Remember, they changed the rule where everybody had to have at least a Thursday game, whatever it might be. I don't care. Basically, every game's at 1 o'clock. Don't give me Nance and Romo, no disrespect, but give me the D or the 4th or the 5th string broadcast team. Let the Jets figure things out in relative anonymity. I don't need the entire country popping in. Oh, let's watch the circus Jets. Let's get a butt fumble. Let's see Ghost with Darnold like against the Pats years ago. Just let them build a culture and go about their work with very few people except Jet fans watching. So the thing is and I do think the Jets will be better this year. It's a tough start here. Let's say they beat the Titans 50-50, and then there's some good fun energy with the Packers. All right, home opener. Packers are good, but whatever. If they lose that Tennessee game, it really just sets a tone for at Detroit. I know anything can happen, but they're probably not winning that game. At the Bears, probably not winning that game. Patriots, probably not winning that game. See, I really wish, why could it be at Titans, home to the Dolphins, home to the Raiders to start? And then maybe take the Vikings, who are week 17, and throw them somewhere in the first 2 months of the season, right? And then the Cardinals as well. This is a tough start. It really is. But one thing I've learned about these schedules, what you think is going to happen very rarely does happen. So I'm not going to go nuts. Just a basic observation. I don't care that they're not on prime time. I like that they're at 1 o'clock, although, to watch the Jets and the Giants will be problematic because the G-men have a lot of 1 o'clock games as well. And, I think if you win the Tennessee game, it sets you up to, at least have a meaningful start to the season. And even if you're 1-4, it's not inconceivable that you can rip off back-to-back wins in week 7 and week 8. Whether it's Kirk Cousins or Mendoza, Dolphins have stripped down entirely, new coaches and all that stuff. Obviously, Chiefs, Bills, tough, Chargers, tough. But then the Dolphins again. The week 13 bye is as late as it's ever been for the Jets. I think it's a real disadvantage if you stink. I think it's a real good advantage if you're really good. So it's probably going to be a disadvantage because if you're a good team, even though it's really late, there would be real value for getting a chance that late in the season to kind of, all right, let's really ice up. Let's really collect ourselves here for a long run, But is what it is. I'm not going to cry too much about that. And then listen, if the Jets say if they do beat the Titans and they beat the Dolphins and they beat the Raiders and they steal one game against one of these teams that nobody thinks they're going to beat, well, then all of a sudden you're like, all right, at Arizona, I got a chance there. That Vikings game, Vikings aren't going to be that good, I don't think. But, you want to win total here? I don't know. Can the Jets go? I remember before I saw the schedule, I'm like, I think they could win 7 or 8. I would not bet on 8 now. That seems ridiculous. 7 seems a little high as well. You want to tell me the Jets are 6 and 11? You want to tell me the Jets are 7 and 10 in that neighborhood? Anything less than that, Glenn is gone. So that's my take on the Jets. On the Jets schedule. Let's get the Giants up there. The G-Men. The G-Men. All right. Now, the Giants out of the chute here, and obviously that's what happens when you have a coach that's got some respect. You're going to have the primetime game, then you get a little bit of a hanger there with Tennessee. Daboll, obviously, on the staff. I mean, to me, just contrasting it to the Jets, the Giants have a very favorable schedule here. I think Marash put this tweet out, Sean, where when they some of the games, or I think 3 of the games that they play this year, the team that they're playing is in London before that, which logistically is a disadvantage for their opponent and a little bit of an advantage for the Giants, you would think. I mean, listen, can you beat the Commanders? Sure. I mean, should you beat Tennessee? Yeah. I mean, should you beat the Cardinals? Why not? I mean, the Saints aren't going to be that good. You get a chance for a little revenge there. Texans will be tough. But, I think that the Giants, to me, are a team where I even if it's a false belief, I think that going into October, like Halloween, the Giants will be right in the middle of things here, 500, maybe a game above. And I'll tell you what, if they beat Dallas week 1, I think it's unrealistic to think you're going to beat the Rams necessarily. But if they beat Dallas, the Giants will be over 500 going into October. They're going to win those 2 games with the Titans and the Cardinals there. They're going to win. And then if you get that, and I know we're really connecting a lot of dots and who the hell knows, but now all of a sudden, all right, Commanders, Saints. Like, it's not inconceivable that the Giants are, 4-5-2. It's not. And they've got a well-placed bye. So that is the Giants schedule right there. J-Rod, have you, I'm going to say you have not done this yet, but have you looked at the Patriots schedule yet?
No, I've not. I've not checked it yet.
How do you not look at the schedule? Come on, it's your team.
Dude, I'm locked in on the Jets now, bruh.
All right. Yeah, we're going to run a couple of trips here. You don't even know anything about this.
I mean, I saw the Instagram post. It looked nice. It looked like a nice resort.
Oh, no, that's different. That is something.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, do you have that up? Can we? I don't think I sent you that.
I don't have an Unleashed graphic.
Right, well,
for
it's okay. We'll get that up on Monday. So what you're talking about, July 11th in Atlantic City, is a massive Jet content. Basically, it's like Comic-Con for Jet fans, I guess, or one of those with the superheroes and Star Wars stuff and the Star Trek and all those other cons, right? It's going to be off the hook. It's just a big pool party. It's going to be sick. And we'll be out there, the Jets Collective. So me, Rich, and Jake, and I know Connor Hughes will be out there. Basically everybody who covers the Jets. It's going to be really good. No, I'm not talking about that. What I've done, and we didn't do it last year, just to be totally honest with everybody, there was just no demand. I mean, Rodgers was gone, and I'm not going to run a trip to lose money, but we've done a lot of trips already. My guy Mike Martucci, who runs the Giants, the Big Blue Travel, great with that. I know he was hanging out with Joe Shane last night, and Cashman and Booney. They had dinner over at Rayo's over there in up in the Bronx. So anyway, Martucci does that, and we did it a couple of years ago, and we went to Lambeau, and we sold it out, and it was phenomenal. Right. And Jets won that game. Jets were off to a good start. It really was just Lambeau's amazing. And then the next year we went to Dallas, which was an amazing trip. We went to Las Vegas, which the Raiders, they lost the game on Sunday night. Yeah. And what we do is, like, it's not like we just get tickets to the game. It's an entire weekend built around so the game's on Sunday. we host a big dinner, and then we went to Tennessee a couple of years ago, week 1, and we went somewhere else. Oh, we went to the Hall of Fame game in Cleveland when Revis and Klecko got enshrined. We've done 5 or 6 of these trips.
Okay.
And because he's so hooked up with all the Giant stuff, and he knows everybody, number one, the seats are great, and his venue selection is off the charts phenomenal. We were at a rooftop in Tennessee. We were at a rooftop restaurant where overlooking, the main strip in Tennessee, and it was just it was phenomenal. And I hosted dinner on Saturday night before the game, and I'll always get a Jet alum, whether it's Marty Lyons or Wesley Walker. Some of these they will roll into the tailgate and hang out with us,
man.
And when I tell you, Jay, no bullshit. If you've been to any of these trips, by all means, jump in on the chats there because they are 5-star. I mean, Jets might not be 5-star, but these trips are. If you've been on the trip, we're not just giving you a hot dog and a hamburger. I mean, it is a tented, catered, whether it's lobster and shrimp. I mean, usually the delicacies will reflect where we are. So a lot of barbecue in Tennessee, stuff like that. So this year, we're going to go to Tennessee. We're going to go to Arrowhead, and we're going to try to go to Chicago. We want to go to historic venues to watch the Bears game.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. And what we were doing, we were trying to do a wraparound. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Where if Notre Dame was home that weekend, we were going to do Notre Dame and then Jets Bears on Sunday. Yeah, it's so much fun.
Cool.
Oh, dude. It really is. And then you'll get like a tour of the city with like a double-decker bus. And the other thing that Tooch gets, and I've got, if you go on my Instagram page, now you're going to have to scroll down far because it wasn't last year, it was the year before, but you'll find it. We get you access where you come on the field, you get a stadium tour. So we got a tour of Lambeau. And then when we did Dallas, I actually had a football and we were throwing the ball around on the field. Like, it's great, dude.
Awesome, man.
And you're coming this year.
You're
go. Coming on some of these trips, dude.
Let's go. Hey, I appreciate it.
J-Rod there.
Get me out this city. Come on.
Oh, no, we will. And we'll take care of that. It's going to be on the arm. It's not going to cost you a dime. Not a dime.
There we go.
Nice hotels, the transportation, pick you up at the airport, take you to the airport, transfers, really nice buses. It's just phenomenal, dude. Well run.
That's great. I'm so excited.
Yep. It's coming up. Let me see here. What else do we got? We were wrong the other night. We both had the Pistons getting that game.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, in my heart of hearts, maybe I want to say I had the Cavs deep down, but no, I didn't. I mean, I took the Pistons. I thought they would have gotten it done at home. Now it's really shaping up to look like the Cavs might be playing the Knicks here, and I think that bodes very well for the New York Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, just keep going here. And what's the spread? The spread, Cavaliers are laying 3.5 tonight. I was a little surprised they were favored by that much. They're definitely. I mean, not surprised they're favored. Maybe even 4.5. I mean, the Pistons. And one of the chats asked earlier. I never really answered it. Like, hey, what's the better matchup? Well, number one, I wanted to get to 7. That's for obvious reasons, right? Cavaliers, Knicks obviously are hosting. You get home court advantage. That would be great. Game 1 and 2 at the Garden would be phenomenal. If it's the Pistons, it's the other way around, whatever, even though they won in Detroit last year, so I'm not too worried about that. But, I mean, the Pistons really are a one-man show, and we know that. And, outside of Cade Cunningham, you don't really – and Tobias Harris, I've got respect for their players. I'm not taking anything for granted, but – as much as I get on Harden, I mean, Harden could still have a night where he pops in 30-something. And obviously, we've seen Donovan Mitchell did it on Christmas Day, let alone the other night when he dropped 43 in this series.
Oh, man.
Mobley and some of these guys, like,
I don't know, Mobley, because he's a guy who I always thought, I mean, when he was originally drafted, now this is an unimaginable comparison, but I remember hearing the Tim Duncan thing with him, flashes of Tim Duncan in his game. And I just think, I was watching some stuff on Mobley last night, and granted, this doesn't matter in this playoff series, but he's the kind of guy who hasn't gotten better, really much over his entire career. He's very similar to who he was as a rookie player. And I don't see him as a dynamic scorer
No.
who's going to take over the Knicks. Not that he's needed to be that at all. You got James Harden, Donovan Mitchell. I don't know. And Jared Allen has always come up very soft in the playoffs.
I know he has.
Very weak for an all-star caliber player, all-star caliber center.
I agree.
I just think I think Cade being the most dynamic player out of either of those teams, maybe in my head, makes the Pistons a little tougher of a matchup for the Knicks if it were to go down that way.
Okay. What is this here? Woogie-Z9Z. Since the Geo dust up, Sal's been MIA on Unleashed, and you on his. BT and Sal live mysteriously disintegrated under guise of logistics the day after. What's the story? Matter of fact, Sal just texted me yesterday about playing golf. No, listen, I'll be totally honest with you here. So
trying to stir it up.
No, there's nothing to stir up. Whatever happened with me and Gio happened, then it's over in my book until it's not. I mean, I'm not going to keep going back to that. Well, I said what he said what he said. I said what I said, and it's over, right? But with Sal, right? So Sal didn't want to get involved in it, and I understand this. He's friends with Greg, and he's friends with me, and he just. So I remember we were actually, because he was on Unleashed, and then I was on his show. And I remember, I think the last time I was on a show was Ash Wednesday, because I remember I came home from church, I ran home, and I had the ashes, if you guys remember that, and we had a great time. I remember after that stuff with Gio went down, I texted him, and it wasn't like immediately, but it was like, hey, let's get you back up, because we were planning the next show, and he's like, listen, and he was honest, and I respected this. Now, maybe would I have done it differently? I might have. Like, if it was him and Greg or him and somebody, I would have put I would have put it aside, and if he asked me to come on, I would have come on. But I'm not looking to put the guy in a bad spot. He lived with Greg, like they lived together when they were at WFAN early in their careers. So I get the dynamics, And he's like, I just don't want to get in the middle. And I said, I get it. I said, do your thing, man. So, and listen, the other thing too is he's busy doing his thing, and I'm busy doing my thing. I mean, I fall asleep to Sports Night, and I love it. It's a great show. I tell you that. I really like the sports. I like Sports Night better when Sal's not on it. Not just kidding. I'm kidding. But I like the show. I love JJ, and I know a lot of those guys. I played golf with JJ. He was next to me when Francesa almost killed me with the golf ball when we played with me and JJ and Sal and Mike last year. And I just think it's the kind of thing. But listen, when it went down at the Fan, and I jumped into the show right away, and I'm thrilled that I did that, right? And I love the growth, and I love what we're doing. I love the calls, and I love the sponsorship, and there's more stuff coming. Really proud of what we're doing, and it's because of you guys supporting me, and we're building this thing out. The interviews, the guests, everything. Loving where we're at right now. I thought that I would probably have Sal on a little bit more, and he did as well. I can promise you, if it didn't happen, what happened with with me and Gio, I do think we'd probably go on once in a while, but I think that we still will, by the way, but I think that the thought of a collaboration, while it was enticing to each of us on some level, like, hey, BT and Sal, let's do something once a week, because the dynamic's too good, and the chemistry's too strong, and the energy's too palpable, and the demand, by the way, was too strong not to do it. But then it sounds good, and it was good, like as a concept. But then when you actually get into the logistics of doing a show, like I'm literally working more now than I worked when I was actually doing the show with the Fan. I mean, because everything is literally, my wife is selling, and I'm doing the content, and J-Rod is producing. And when I would end the show at WFAN, get off the air at 2, I'm out the door at 2:02. I'm in my car. Yeah, of course, I'm watching the games and getting ready for the show, but I'm not like doing, like, I am in my office basically all day, and I love it. Like, it's a grind. It's rolling up the sleeves, and it's a grit that is new, and I welcome with open arms, and it has galvanized me. And there's no doubt in my mind I've made the right decision. But he just didn't want to get in the middle of it, and I respect it. And I wasn't going to pull him in the middle of it. Like, I wasn't going to bring him on under the pretense of, hey, let's just talk Yankees and Mets, and then be like, dude, you hear what Gio said? Like that. That's not my style. I'm not trying to complicate his life. I like Sal. I've always liked Sal, And I think he likes me. I mean, of course, we're very strong personalities. So to think that there wasn't a flare up or two over the 2 years we worked together is unrealistic. But I think he and I both know and have both said many times in all the interviews after we wrapped up at the Fan that once we figured our shit out and once we got past, never any big problems, but just understood each other and trust each other and how to work with each other. Well, that was the show that was awesome. Like that was the show that really was great, and that's what we were really proud of there. So no, he just texted me yesterday about playing golf because when we were on the Fan, I forget the gentleman's name. He invited me and Sal to go play at some beautiful country club in New Jersey. And he texted me literally yesterday, hey, I forget the guy's name. So-and-so from so-and-so country club reached out. Do you still want to play? I'm like, yeah, of course I want to play. And I'll go out there and shoot 104. I'll leave divots everywhere. And, but you bring the surf sides and I'll bring my bag of clubs. And yeah, of course we'll play, man. No, and the thing, to be totally honest, with the Carl Banks stuff, it didn't sell out. I was surprised at that. I really thought Long Island was going to sell out. I was disappointed in that. But there was so much going on, and we kind of threw it in there last minute. Long Island is more Jets country. So maybe it wasn't, as I look back, and it was my idea to reach out to Carl and get him on, and then we were able to do it. He said, yeah, which was great. I mean, rock solid move by Carl, who's a stand-up dude, despite what happened on our show. Love Sal. Love Carl. But it just didn't sell out. And we're not in the business of losing money. We obviously sold tickets, but it was a bigger venue. And we're like, does it really, logistically, does it make sense? That's the only reason the plug was pulled on that. Like, I want to be totally, totally sincere with that. I can lie and say, oh, yeah, it was sold out and everybody wanted to come watch, but me and Sal didn't want to do the show. Like, that would almost probably make us look better. Like, we just didn't want to do the show, but it sold out. Didn't sell out, Like the Booney show sold out and BT and Sal with Boone. So it's all good, man. I mean, there's really nothing else to dig or to dive into. And, he's also working 2 jobs. So when he's going to SNY every day, I'm going to the field every night to either coach my daughter, watch my daughter, coach my son, or watch my son. And it's the most beautiful part of my life. So every night, and he's also playing basketball now too in the spring. Every night is busy and every day is consumed with getting this show to be an absolute monster. And I know that Sal's doing the same thing on his end. So that's it. I cannot be more transparent than that. So, Jay, have you been wondering about that as well?
No, I mean, I kind of figured it was exactly what you said. I respect you for being literally 100% honest with that.
That's the answer.
Caps off. That, I mean, because that's what I mean. There wasn't, I haven't been wondering much because that's just I didn't know about Sal's relationship with Greg, but that's kind of what I figured was just like, listen, he's got his own things he's doing. You're doing your own thing. Listen, there's not always a time overlap, but it's also like building out each of your own individual things rather than trying to, rely on, an old dynamic sort of deal.
Yeah. Well, listen, don't get me wrong. I see some of his clips. I'm like, let's get him on.
Yeah, dude. And I'm sure absolutely.
I'm sure he's doing the same. Oh, dude, if we were in the same studio together, I'd be all over him. I'm saying the same thing. I'm not saying it's not going to happen ever again. I'm definitely not saying that. More than welcome to go, more than open to go on his, and the invite at some point will be back to come on mine. No doubt about it. We'll play golf. Play golf together. He just didn't want to get in the middle of it. And out of respect to his relationship with him and our relationship, I said, okay, I ain't gonna push it. I'm not gonna beg. I'm not gonna push it. It's all good. It's all good. Speaking of the Fan, real quick, I did reach out to Evan to come on the show.
Okay,
I did, and obviously the Tiki thing. That's a layup. It's just a matter of when. I mean, obviously Tiki's going to come on and take care of it, right? And we'll. I want to do Tiki at night where he can pour scotch because we're both Scotch guys. He can pour scotch. I can pour scotch, and we could just shoot the shit for an hour and a half and really do one of those deep dives about all the stuff that me and Teak went through as partners for over a decade. Now, Evan, if you remember, Evan is the one who started this issue.
Of course.
Right? He was the one. I was getting ready to hang up the phone. I'm sitting in my hotel in San Diego, and it was getting ready to do the Johnnies in the NCAA tournament, and he's got to ask me the question about Gio, and I just answered it honestly. And but I've got a good relationship with Evan. I've always liked him, right? And I texted him the other day, and I'm like, hey, any interest in coming on Unleashed? I'd love to have you on. He's like, absolutely. He's like, but he did say, I just got to make sure it's okay after the last, his word was kerfuffle. I can't stand that word. It's such a, I don't know. I just don't like that.
It's like the word silly. Like,
yeah,
it kind of hits me weird. Yeah.
Right?
Like, yeah. Oh, big time.
Like it hits you. Even
it's a soft word.
A soft word. Kerfuffle. Who the hell says kerfuffle? I mean, if I would have said kerfuffle when I was growing up, somebody would have popped me in the face.
It's like a fight that occurs in Candyland.
yeah. But he did write that back. He's like, I'd love to, man. He's like, I would absolutely love. He's like, I want to make sure it's cool. So if it's cool, and after the little kerfuffle, we'll get Evan on. So
yeah, I like his clips a lot. Like he's
good, man.
He's the dude who I like usually find the funniest.
You find Evan the funniest?
Dude, I don't know. Something about his clips, just like I always see, I go, like, that was pretty funny. Like maybe just the way he goes off, like something about like the Nets stuff the other day. Just like the absolute
the Nets.
No, exactly. That was what was kind of funny, was they put up a clip. It's like Brooklyn Nets. It's got like 10 likes on it. I'm just like, oh, hey, but
I can promise you this. Funny. Like if it does work out and Evan does come on and he even brings up the Nets, he's off, like, show's over. At least this part of the show. I am not wasting time about
I've
the
got
Nets.
a No Rules Friday question. My dad always pushes this to me. He'll love that I'm asking you this right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you watch WNBA at all? / have any?
No.
Okay.
No,
because he's always like, yo, Jay, you got to talk WNBA, man. You'll get 20,000 subs in a day. I'm like, all right, pump the brakes, bro.
I'm not here to disrespect it. I mean, they're phenomenal. But no, I'm not watching the WNBA. I'll tell you what I did watch. I did watch Caitlin Clark a couple of times when she was at Iowa.
For sure.
Like and Reese, obviously. I mean, I know some of the players. My favorite part, honestly, of the WNBA is Sophie Cunningham's Instagram. Let's be honest. That is by far the best content, anything that the WNBA
She's
pumps out.
gorgeous, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan. Listen, they are amazing players. I just don't have the bandwidth, the interest, or the time.
No, I mean, that's fair. You're locked into so many things. It's like, and the thing is, I don't think it's a discredit to the league itself, because, like, dude, I went to a Liberty game last year. It was packed. It was much more dynamic than any Brooklyn Nets game I ever went to.
I believe that.
It was so much fun. I just think it's hard. When you grow up loving certain teams, it's hard to add on another thing that you're now supposed to be locked in on when you've spent your entire life kind of not following that. It's tough to add another sport to that repertoire.
Yeah,
just wondering. I had to put that out there.
Listen, and they deserve. I know that they've been battling for their CBA. I mean, they deserve much more money. Now, it is all supply and demand. I mean, they want to get paid like NBA players, which is ridiculous. Well, then you could have that thought and you can aspire to that, but you've got to pump out the money the way the NBA does. But it's grown tremendously.
Yeah, the minimum contract now is so much better.
I know it is. I know for sure. And they were getting hosed for a lot of years. And the style of play, like, they're just incredibly talented. I'm not going to watch it. Like, I don't have any interest in watching it. I really don't. And it's not. Hopefully nobody construes that as a sexist statement or I've got no interest in watching the women play. I just have no time. And if, like, I've got to be emotionally connected to something to care. And that is why, I really do. That is why I just can't get into hockey. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate it. Doesn't mean I don't respect it. And I grew up playing in the street. I was terrible. God, I was an awful street hockey player. I was terrible. But there was a point where I liked hockey a little bit. And I had the Islanders jersey, and we'd get into fights in the street, me and my buddy Tommy. We would drop the gloves, and he'd usually win because he was a year older, a little bit bigger. But no, we would play all the time with the garbage pails and the roll of black tape, and we had the Coho sticks, and I just wasn't a good skater. So, but even now, so it's not like anti-WNBA. It's anti-anything that I don't connect to intensely and intimately. And that doesn't mean that I can't appreciate the speed and the dexterity, which is amazing, of the NHL and just what these guys do and how they sacrifice their bodies, dive into the ice and blocking shots that are coming 95 plus miles an hour with a hard, cold piece of rubber. They are nuts, man. And they are low maintenance athletes, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Oh my
gosh, the team concept, you know what I mean? Like the team concept in hockey is as strong as any other sport out there. So many great things to say about the sport. It's just not my sport. And while I love basketball, the WNBA is just not my thing. But
yeah, I mean, we're not talking EuroLeague.
No,
you know?
I don't talk. No, I don't watch. I'll watch a little. The only time I really watch now EuroLeague. Well, I think I've been watching a lot of EuroLeague stuff the last 2 weeks because the entire St. John's roster is suddenly from Europe here. You know, so I'm watching these clips with these wacky courts and these different ads on the jerseys and 5 different colored basketballs. I'm like, all right, he looks good. He's coming to St. John's. I better figure it out.
Wait, I got a question. Syracuse St. John's this year. I mean, I'm there.
We're gonna beat your ass. Like
I know. It's in the city, right?
It's at the Garden.
Oh,
you coming?
You better not. I mean, I'm not to say like this, dude. You got to get me some kind of seat, some kind of something.
Jay, do me a favor. Listen, you are one of the reasons why I really do like you is that first of all, you're good at your job. Number 2, you're nice. Very nice. Just a good young man. I've said that before. Dude, you don't have to you just say it. Just say, dude, get me tickets. We've got that relationship now. You don't have to dance around. Just say, come on, BT, get me ticket. Done.
Because, dude, I feel like there. And dude, that's a game. Like, I legit, like, dude, I could take a college alum lady to the game. Come on now. That's like a real, there's like a real something there. There's some real heat behind that game.
There could be. And it wouldn't be up in the rafters by the retired numbers either. So maybe I come over, say hi, introduce myself, get things going a little bit in the right direction for you. But by the way, that it seems like that department has been very quiet for you lately. Crickets.
Oh, yeah. Crickets. I mean, listen. Honestly, I've had some quiet weekends recently. Listen, we got to get back out there.
All right, man. Well, whenever you do, I told you that third date, it's got to be the third date. I hook you up with a restaurant. The chef comes out. I take care of the bill. Third date, not first and not second. Third. Okay.
Big time. Big time.
Right. Let's get back.
Also, wait, this season, real quick, St. John's is projected to be much better than Cuse, right?
Yeah, Syracuse is terrible.
Oh God, no!
Right now,
we're still projected to be. I mean, I guess Donnie Freeman left.
He went to St. John's.
Yeah, exactly.
He
went to St. John's. Woo. Oh boy!
Yeah, why don't you suck on that McNamara?
I mean, he was the last. And JJ Starling was fine, and what's his name? Judah Mintz was okay.
You got Carmelo's
pretty
son.
Fun. Yeah, I don't know.
He didn't do much.
Yeah, I don't know. Cayenne Anthony. He'll be better this season.
Yeah,
dude, he's a. I don't want to say this.
Don't get personal. What are you gonna say?
No. I was gonna say he's a Bronny James, but I don't know. Cayenne Anthony's projects to be a better player than Bronny James will be.
Yep.
I just think I don't know if he'll get that NBA chance. I
mean, yeah, he might not. Like, listen, Syracuse to me, I miss Syracuse. I miss that dynamic. I really do. Now, for most of my
I got led astray going to a basketball school. Yeah, and then I went and it wasn't a sports school at all.
I know. I got to tell you, like the deterioration of Syracuse. Now, I do think it's going to be restored with J Mac in the house, and that's going to be. Is Devendorf an assistant?
I think so.
Did I imagine
that would bring some juice too?
I thought I read that somewhere that Eric Devendorf is going to be an assistant. Either way, J Mac is the coach, and that will reignite the passion. I love doing games there. Obviously, this would mean that if it's, I don't know if it's quite a home and home, but if it turns into a home and home, I'd love to go back to the Dome. That is a special place to call a game, to watch a game.
Yeah, dude.
But the disintegration of the Syracuse basketball program has been sad. And I mean that like sincerely.
Yeah.
It's been sad to witness. They're in the wrong conference. They've lost their way. It's just, but I do think they'll start creeping back with J-Mac. People, now the money's going to come back, all right? No. He wasn't working out with Autry. Now you got Jerry McNamara. Here's the NIL. Here's the interest. Pretty soon, 22, 25,000 a night again. I think it's going to come back, but it's down.
And a lot of it was due to, blackballing the guy, Adam Weitzman, who was tossing a lot of that. And are you familiar with him?
I don't know. And I don't know that I want to get too in the weedsy on Adam Weissman's NIL. But give me the short version. Go ahead.
No, basically he was the guy who would bring Giannis to the Syracuse games. He brought Jalen Hurts the weekend before the Super Bowl to the Dome. And he was the one who was primarily funding a lot of the NIL deals for Syracuse's players. Jim Boeheim and even the chancellor of Syracuse University said, we will not take any more money from this guy. I'm not sure. I've got to look into how he earned that chunk of change. Maybe there's a reason why they didn't take it.
Does it even matter? As long as it's green, somebody takes it and they can put 20 points up on the board tonight, whatever.
But yeah, I think a lot, not having that funding for the past couple of years also kind of led to a lackluster roster.
100%. It's all correlated to the amount of money that you spend. Yeah. Now, Kentucky spent like $22 million last year, and they fell way short, like spending. And now everybody's over $10 million, and there's a lot of teams now. Really, last year was kind of that barrier. Like if you're a 10, and St. John's was, 10 is that threshold of, all right, you're really all in kind of. Now it's been bumped up to 15, and others are going to have more. Like it's ridiculous. That's a deeper conversation for a different day. But until they change the rules, and as long as Mike Rapoli, my guy Mikey, Water, doing his thing for St. John's, all the horses, the Derby, keep cutting those checks, Mikey.
Yeah,
all right, let's get back to the calls here. Who's up? Who do I have? Who do we got?
We've got our buddy ST from London.
ST, what up?
What's up, cuz? How are you, ET?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
Excellent. Happy Friday. I'm doing good, man. Doing real good.
Yeah.
Waiting for the Subway Series. So that's going to be great. Cam Schlittler's going to be great. And I wanted to ask you two questions.
Okay.
When was the last time you've come to London?
I've never been. I know.
You've teed me up nicely, my friend.
Okay. And let me tell you why. So I had a Jets. I was telling you guys about those Jets trips. We had one on the books. It was 2 years ago. And it was obviously October. And I was at WFAM. And, my old boss was kind of, and I would have made a lot of money that weekend, man. But I got it. I got their perspective. Like, dude, it's football season. And it's the Yankees are in the playoffs and the Mets. And we had a whole studio set up at BBC where I was going to be able to do my radio show with Sal and just connect from London. Like logistically, we had it done. But awesome. They didn't flat out say you can't go. But what I was feeling, what I was receiving was, because I would have had to then miss a show to get back, given the 6-hour time difference, I would have had to have missed either Tuesday or Wednesday show. And there was too much going on. And I thought I had to make they wound up getting rid of me. So I should have freaking went. It didn't matter. I should have said, like, screw you, I'm going. And I'm making a boatload of cash and I'm going to be in London anyway. But I made the decision, and I'm proud of it, that I thought that they really kind of wanted me to make, and that I think professionally I knew that I had to make. So it's all good.
Excellent. Well, thanks for the explanation. I'll tell you the reason why I'm asking. Of course, we've had a lot of frequent conversations, which I completely and utterly enjoy. Obviously, listened to you for a very long time, even on ESPN Radio when you were at Stephen A.
Wow.
So yeah, we're going back.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I wanted to propose, and this is twofold because you mentioned that, when J-Rod asked you about WNBA, I wanted to say, even though you're doing your own thing now, BT Unleashed, you do it every day, you're hitting the pavement hard. But if you do give yourself a holiday, I would love to invite you as my guest. My casa es su casa. You can stay, and I would like to take you to a rugby match.
Rugby!
Yeah, or test cricket to try to get you to understand and embrace a new game.
I've watched hey, by the way, don't sell me short. I've watched a little cricket, usually more from India. Like whenever I stumble upon cricket, I keep it on. Yeah. And by the way, first of all, very, very generous. Now that's deeper than my guy inviting me, Benji, to the Nick game, which is right here. I'm not saying no.
No, you don't have to.
No, I got you.
No harm, no foul.
I got you. No, it's awesome, dude. The rugby. So my high school, I didn't play rugby because it's during baseball season. I don't think I would have been that good at it anyway, because I'm not very fast at all. But my rugby team at Xavier in Manhattan is really one of the top rugby. It's a private school that has a rugby program, one of the best in the entire country. And every year they've gone to Australia to play. They've gone to London. So I followed rugby. I just never played it. I've never been to an event. That would be awesome.
I mean, Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, I don't know your schedule, but how it usually works is we have our autumn internationals. Right now, as I mentioned yesterday when we were talking about the schedule, the Gallagher Premiership is on right now, so that's more club.
Yep.
And then in March of every year, which is great, we have the Six Nations, which is England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, France.
Oh, that's got to
Which
be
is
that's got to be a death match. Oh,
it's amazing. That's test rugby, right? So
yeah.
it is incredible. And also cricket. Baseball derives from it. So for me, I could chew your ear off about cricket and the rules and everything. I think a baseball savant as yourself would find it absolutely fascinating.
I do.
And,
when I watch
yeah,
it, it's I think I would have been good at cricket too. I think I would have hammered the ball.
I think you would have as well, to be fair. But like, you're watching IPL, right? That's T20, the same thing that they're doing in the States that they've released. So that's 20 overs, right? But Test cricket, and this is why baseball has series, right? Because Test cricket is one match but played over 5 days. You understand?
I got you. Yep.
Yeah. So that's why, and the reason why it's called Test is because it is a test mentally and physically. So imagine you're a batsman, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're there in the hot sun, facing over 100 bowls, like forever. Like you're sweating, you're hot, you're frustrated, and you're trying to play shots and score runs. So it's not like, I struck out. You only get out once your stumps go, right? So the fact that it's Test cricket is that you're there, and even the attack side, which is the bowling. So you're there, you can't get these guys out. You're bowling, and over is 6 bowls and over. So you're bowling all the time. Like, I'm getting really excited just even talking to you. I don't want to.
I can tell.
But I swear to you, man, if you ever, like, one thing I think is, like, we've lost humanity with all the technology and all the stuff that's fake and nonsense. One thing you cannot kill is the human spirit and connectivity, especially when it comes to men in sports, women and men in sports, women and women in sports.
Yep.
So as one human being to another, I do open my doors to you.
What a gentleman.
Would love to have you for Test cricket, which is in the summer. Like I said, I'm not privy to your schedule.
No, I don't even know what it is yet. I'm terrified. I don't even want to take a day off from the show because I don't want people to forget about me. We're not that popular yet. I'm not Pat McAfee. I got to stick around and I got to grind. If I go away, I don't know. People be like, BT, he wasn't there for 2-3 days.
Live from London.
Jeez.
No, I hear you. But check this out. If you are that close with the BBC, I would imagine that you or some of your connections within your network have some sort of connections to broadcasting over here, and if you can finagle those in a proper way to kind of get you out here where they can set you up, we could do BT Unleashed abroad. You know what I mean?
Abroad. I mean, I listen. I love the vision, man. I hear you. All right.
Yeah.
Let me think about it. Let me see.
We'd love to have you, man. And
thank you, brother.
I wish you and your family a bomb weekend. Always a pleasure.
Awesome, dude. What a gentleman. Thank you, ST. I appreciate you making that call. I mean, we're talking cricket, we're talking rugby, we're talking WNBA. I mean, I may as well throw in a little PGA championship over the weekend, a little golf, one of the majors, which, by the way, is such a lame major. They're like and I love golf, but I'm not going to get into it now too much. But like the PGA championship, the amount of random people that have won that thing. If you look at the U.S. Open and you look at obviously the Masters before that to get the majors going, even TPC, like the 5th major before. And of course, the Open Championship every year. It's just, I don't know, man. It never has it just doesn't have any juice. It's weird. Let me get Willie _ Long Beach. Hey, my boy Mike Quinn just texted me yesterday about doing something at Borelli's for a little Knicks stuff. So we got some good things coming there. Shout out to those guys. I was stuck in traffic on the Van Wyck, stunning, going to the Mets game the other day. Kids were playing cricket in the park like we would play wiffle ball. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's funny. I don't know their descent because I don't know. I think it was an Indian league. I think it could have been Jamaican. I don't know for sure. But even when I was young, when I was growing up playing baseball at Marine Park in the 80s, if you know, like where Kings Plaza is in Flatbush Avenue, like on the other side, on the side of the park closest to Kings Plaza, right? By the creek, whatever, like that. If you know the creek, you know the creek. They were playing cricket there in the 80s. In the 80s, J-Rod. So,
no way.
Yeah, no doubt. The only thing I don't know, and I don't profess to know all the rules at all, but is the ball like heavy, like say a lacrosse ball?
That's what I've wondered too.
Right?
I think it's like hard though, because it snaps, right?
Well, it's definitely hard. It's got
like,
but I think is it rubberized? It's not leather. And I know that I don't think they're stitching on it. I think it's more heavy rubber rather than, a baseball is about 5 1/4 ounces. Matter of fact, it's got to be 5.25.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it weighs. It looks heavier. It obviously doesn't go as far, so it's got to be heavier. But the one thing that I don't know, I mean, outside of like guys pulling hamstrings and ruptured Achilles and torn ACLs when you're running, does anybody get hurt in cricket? Like if you get
like pulling shoulder.
Yeah, no, I don't mean like I don't mean an injury from like throwing it how they do. Like it's a very violent release of the ball. But like in baseball, guys get hit and they break a hamate bone or whatever it might be. They break their wrist or fracture their, something in their elbow or their forearm. I don't really see many injuries. I mean, listen, maybe there are. I'm not privy to them. I don't know. How about this though? Getting invites all around the world here, man.
There we go. I mean, come on now. ECF to London.
Yeah, people like BT Unleashed.
Come on now. This is maybe a question after the next call.
Yeah,
I've never been to Flatbush in my life, bro. Like, if I were to go, like, what's something I should check out?
I mean, nothing. There's
nothing.
No, listen, I love Flatbush, and the Flatbush that I grew up with is nowhere near the Flatbush. It's just not. It's totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to walk around? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just like, this is for the chat too. Like, yo, if any of y'all are in New York, just let me know. Like, I just need something new, bro. Like, I feel like I've been in this area of Brooklyn, but like, I want to check out the deep cuts of Brooklyn, the red hooks.
Okay. So I got a couple things for you. Now, when my experience with Red Hook is very different from what Red Hook has turned into.
Oh, dude, I'm
very
sure.
different. Yeah, there's no doubt. Like, you got to remember when I was in high school, and we were literally right in the middle of the city, West 16th Street off 6th Avenue. We didn't have our own field. So we would have to go to the East River Drive, but also we practiced at Red Hook. In Red Hook, they had a field. Okay. And like, you're walking, we didn't really care. We had bats and we had 10 guys, but like, not the safest walk back then. Sure. It's different. But I don't know anything socially in Red Hook. I never hung in Red Hook. I lived in downtown Brooklyn, like not far from Montague Street, which is beautiful, like Cobble Hill, Brownstones, great restaurants, but it's been so long. If I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to say Flatbush, even though it's more Marine Park, whatever. Like, if you're going to go to Flatbush, I would say, number one, you got to go to Michael's Restaurant, the number one Italian restaurant for my money anywhere. Michael's Avenue R, right there. It is.
I'm putting that down.
And by the way, I know those guys. So if you go there, maybe that's the place that you go on the date.
The third?
Oh, my parents go all the time.
Michael's Avenue R. All right, cool.
We spent Mother's Day there a couple of years ago. It's just fun. Listen, here's how I judge an Italian restaurant. How's the veal? And they got great veal. They got great everything and great people. And they had a great bakery across the street too. That for a long time that they closed. Anyway, Michael's the best. Shout out to Michael's. I love them, man. Even their sauce. I mean, you get them at the supermarket. It's great. If you want, yeah, it's really good. You go to any supermarket, you'll see Michael's, right? So if you want pure seafood, I'm going to send you a little. This is in Flatbush, literally off Flatbush Avenue. Go to Randazzo's, right across from Marine Park Golf Course, which, by the way, is a great golf course that my dad still plays at. They put a lot of money into it the last 10, 12, 15 years. It looks awesome. And right across the street is Randazzo's. Clams, oysters, scungili, galamà, whatever you want. Phenomenal. Obviously, lobsters.
Nice.
What else do we get? I mean, I'm sorry. Randazzo's is Sheepshead Bay.
Got it.
Jordan's, you got Jordan's Lobster Dock. Maybe that name even changed, but my dad's gonna tell me right after the show. It's awesome, and it's on the water, and it's just perfect, like it's no frills. It's not like you're walking in but the food is great. You're right on like the water. You got the little channel, and then obviously when you go to Sheepshead Bay, if you go fishing, which is where I used to go fishing.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, all the time.
I haven't gone yet here, but I've really been meaning to. Like my roommate went boat fishing last year, but I haven't gone fishing here yet.
Did he go out of Sheepshead Bay?
Yes. Yeah, he went out of Sheepshead Bay.
Do you like to fish?
Yeah.
Dude, you got to go.
All right, done.
Now the problem is you're probably going to catch sea robins, and you're probably going to catch those little doormat, like the little dormy shark. They look like a little baby sharks.
Yeah, like the nurse shark things, like the little like brown ones. Yep.
No, these are like more gray. The sea robins are obviously brown. But like when I would go, I started going in high school. You would get weak fish. It's just overfished, the waters.
Yeah.
And the regulations, like the fluke and the flounders, get more and more. It's tough to catch a keeper. But back when I was going, you get a lot of bluefish, right? And I don't like bluefish, too bony.
Sure.
I would never order bluefish in a restaurant ever. But I love flounder and I love fluke, right? You stuff it with crab meat, whatever. But back then we would catch a lot of it. Either way, you'll have a great experience. You'll go by the Verrazano Bridge, and it's very scenic. It's very nice. I don't know what they're charging these days, but I used to go on. I think Captain Jack was the name of it, or Captain Jack 4, one of those party vessels. There was a restaurant. I feel like my dad told me that they closed a while ago. There was an Italian joint, more fancy. Like Randazzo's is kind of like you just get in. You could be wearing shorts and flip flops. And you just in and out. You get a beer and you have some good food. Maria's was more of a formal restaurant. I'm positive it's gone, but it was also really good. Not as good as Michael's. If you want real Flatbush-ish area food and you want Italian food, which is what you should want, you got to go to Michael's. Michael's is the best.
Boom. I'll check it out. Dude, I appreciate it. Also, like a lot of comments have hooked it up too. They've given some really good advice.
What are they saying? Let me see. What are they got?
I've seen Bar Mario and Red Hook. Taste the Tropics ice cream in Flatbush. I don't know if you've ever tried that. Defonte's and Red Hook. I've heard of that spot before.
Which one?
Defonte's and Red Hook. It's like one of those like pretty famous sandwich shops.
I got one. Bamonte's.
Bamonte's. Okay.
Like Williamsburg, like Greenpoint.
Dude, I mean that's right next to me.
Bamonte's is great.
Dude, I'm going then. I might go after this. Done.
So you've never been to Bamonte's?
No, but Williamsburg Greenpoint is literally a 5-minute bike ride from my place. So
it is so good. We had my grandparents, my mom's parents on the Italian side. We had their 50th wedding anniversary at Bamonte's.
No way.
Like Piazza used to go there all the time when he was with the Mets. Like it's one of those joints where. And if you want to go out to Queens, go to Lenny's and tell them that I sent you. Like Lenny's is one of my favorite places of all time. But like when you walk into Bamonte's, I love spots like this. Lenny has it as well. Although I think a lot of the pictures got damaged in a flood. Like you'd walk in, like there's a picture of like Andre the Giant signed with the owners and like all the wrestlers and Reggie Jackson and like old Seaver, Mazzilli. And Bamonte's has that nice little bar scene, but it's more about the food. The last time I was at Bamonte's, I took my wife, and I'll never forget, there were 2 or 3 nuns that were there. We went for lunch, and we wound up, I was talking to the nuns and took a picture with them. It's been a while. Bamonte's is great as well. I'm still going to put Michael's at the top.
All right. I got that at number 1.
It's if we're talking a horse race, I'll give Michael's a nose, but it's kind of a photo finish. Like Bamonte's is not getting lapped.
So it's close. All right, dude. I'm definitely going to. And it's a place where you can like take out a sandwich, like a deli sandwich, or is it more of a restaurant?
It's a restaurant. I believe I'm sure they have to do takeout. It's a restaurant. You don't have to wear a suit, but you know what? Yeah, maybe a collared shirt, khakis, whatever. Maybe even jeans with a nice sports jacket. I don't know anybody. I mean, they might. I mean, they might know my name from whatever, but I don't know anybody at Bamonte's. We actually know people at Michael's. So depending upon what you're looking for. Little personalization, that's up to you.
Awesome. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man. All right, buddy. Let me get one more call. Gonna get ready to bounce here.
First time caller. Sweet Lou.
Sweet Lou.
Punta Gorda. Wait, that's right? Punta Gorda, Florida.
He's from Florida. Sweet Lou is in the house. Louie boy, what's going on, Lou?
My bald-headed brother from another mother, BT. How's it going?
It's going well, man. Thanks for calling.
Brother, I don't know if you remember me from the BT and Sal show. I came up with that crew from Florida. We came and we saw you and Sal and Booney on stage.
Yes, Lou, and you came up on the stage and we were talking up on the stage, right?
That's right. Right.
I do remember you coming in from Florida. It was great.
Dude,
how good was that night?
It was a fantastic night. I was hoping you guys get to do it again, but my schedule as an airline pilot, it's kind of tough to get tickets ahead of time for
But
your
see,
event with
I would
Carl
think,
Banks.
wait. I would think it would be easier. You're a pilot. You fly whenever you want.
Yeah, it is, but with the airline schedules and everything,
Yeah.
you just never know when you're going to get called.
Got it.
So it's
Got
kind
it.
of tough to make plans in advance. But I was glad I was able to go up there and then spend time with Bartucci later on over at the bar
No,
next door.
Bartucci is that guy a trip or what?
Yeah, he's nuts. He's out of his mind.
He's absolutely nuts. I love him. Nuts. He's crazy. He's like just an
Yeah.
absolute wild man. The best.
He is. He absolutely is, BT. Anyway, the reason I'm calling, I know you talked about this stylistic change for the Knicks that's happened that you've noticed over the last month.
Yep.
I really don't know if I wanted to see and get your thoughts on what you thought on this. I think it's more like the first 3 games of the playoffs against the Hawks, where they went down 2-1.
Yep.
They kind of looked similar to the regular season. And I think, and I don't know what was said, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
That interaction between Rick Brunson and Jalen Brunson on the sideline towards the end of game 3. I think that flipped the switch in this team. I think the other players on the team witnessed that, witnessed Rick getting in Jalen's, rear end, and maybe they're thinking to themselves, maybe it's not a daddy ball situation, and it's something I don't know what was said, but it just says something happened with this team from that point forward, where they've ripped off 7 straight games now. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. I think and it hasn't been talked about.
Well, if you're talking about, remember, there was a situation too where Brunson said something, the dad said something to Jalen, and Cat wound up taking the free throw. Remember that? Took the technical, remember? And Cat was really quiet at that point. And we brought that up. Either way, I didn't know if you meant that, but the other conversation, which I know now, I know exactly what you're alluding to. Listen, daddy ball is a real thing in Little League. Anything that Jalen Brunson gets, he's earned. Now, I do think that there had to be a shift in philosophy, and usage rates had to change, and running the offense or funneling through Cat, I think, has obviously opened up so many, whether it's backdoor cuts and OG dunks or Bridges dunks or guys in the corner. I mean, he is just a great passer who could see over everybody because he's 7 feet. So I think that's a little convenient myself, Lou. It's not a bad thought. I'm not shooting it down. I can't prove it, and I could be wrong. I think that on some level, Mike Brown kind of always knew that he was going to eventually start to play that way because they were doing it the last month and a half or so in the season. So they were kind of working toward that. But bottom line is this: I don't care how the hell they got there, as long as they got there. That's all that matters to me, Lou. I don't care about what yelling at each other, Brunson, daddy ball. Hey, run it through Cat, and now understand that you're a much more diverse team and a much more dangerous team. And a team that for the first time, all year, I now believe is championship worthy, as I've had for the last week or so, which as you all know, I did not think during the season.
Yeah. Cool. Absolutely. And also, even though my Mets, the last 3 games have looked pretty promising, I don't see them beating the Yankees much. And they may take 1 out of 3 this week. And I'm a realistic Mets fan, like you're a realistic Yankees fan.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'd have to think that you guys will get a little medicine this weekend, hopefully in your own crib. And you will have to swallow hard and not enjoy the taste as it goes down. Hopefully, we're going to serve you a couple of L's, and the Yankees will reverse the way they've been playing, and the Metsies will go back to being largely non-existent.
Yeah, I don't see them being Schlittler tonight, and then we don't even have a game 2 starter, so it's probably going to be a bullpen game for game 2.
I know.
So I think our best chance is maybe Freddie Peralta against Weathers on Sunday, but other than that, it's not looking too good.
Well, I mean, listen, you could win a low-scoring game tonight. I don't think that why would I think that the Yankees are dropping 6 or 7 on Clay Holmes? I mean, the Yankees aren't dropping 6 or 7 on anybody. They got 5 automatic outs, basically 5 dudes hitting under 200. So I think if the Yankees win tonight, and I think that they probably will, I think it's a low-scoring game. And then, you probably see a little, I would think, some Peterson tomorrow as a lefty, kind of piece things together.
Yeah, they're going to kill him.
I don't know what they're going to do tomorrow. But, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Schlittler and Soto. Like, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for the call, Lou. Have a great weekend, buddy. There you go.
Sweet Lou. Great guy.
Sweet Lou. Yeah, he sounds like a really good guy. That's a cool job being a pilot, man, huh?
Dude, that must be the most like I don't
Pressure?
even know. Yeah, dude, pressure filled, just like, oh my gosh, like that is terrifying stuff.
Yeah, but it becomes so normal to them.
Yeah, and it is like, and when you really break it down, it is the safest form of transportation, literally.
Yeah.
Like in terms of
I know
the
what you mean.
least amount of actual accidents have occurred in like planes are the safest for, but
I know
it's just
what you're
like, dude, something about like the stakes are high, bro. When you're like when you're behind that wheel, or is it a wheel? Is it like
No, it's not a steering wheel. It's what is I'm forgetting.
There must be a
like
word
half
for
circle. I don't know. I'm forgetting
steering mechanism. When you're behind that mechanism,
but
man,
it's all
that
you
must be
it's basically all it's all like digitalized. Like you just punch in where you're going, and like it's not like you're like, oh, is anybody coming left side? Like God forbid, like you kind of chilling. You kind of once you know what's going on.
Yeah, it's probably pretty.
Yeah,
straightforward.
Not that I take it for granted. I appreciate the safety aspect and what the men and women do for us, but it's a good job, and you can kind of live wherever you want to. Like my father-in-law is a retired pilot.
No way.
Commercial, yeah. Oh yeah.
So and it's cool because it's like you've seen every continent probably pretty much. Like,
yeah, he used to go to, I remember like towards the end. Well, not right at the end, but he would go to Germany quite a bit. He would go to Belgium. He would go to Japan. He'd go everywhere.
Too cool.
Yeah, very.
That's the one country I've got to make it out to. Japan is like the one place I really want to see, man.
Yeah. Do you like Japanese food?
Yeah. Oh, love it, bro.
I love it.
Love it. I'm a bigger Vietnamese guy, but I do love Japanese.
I'm not a Vietnamese fan. It's just I just love sushi. I mean, I love.
Okay.
So there was a point where I thought, I could still do it, but it's not very healthy for you. I could eat Italian every single day. I'm convinced now the last 10 years, I could eat sushi every day. Like we just ordered sushi. My 9 and 11-year-old kids, like they eat sushi.
They're into it. That's good.
Water. Oh yeah. And we go more sushi than sashimi. The rice isn't, not that it's bad for kids. I don't need to just suck down a ton of rice, empty calories, whatever. But yeah, the tuna, salmon, sushi. Oh yeah. Big staple. Once a week in our home, we order it.
Yeah. And it's so, or your kids aren't like picky eaters or anything like that?
They're pain in the ass eaters.
Oh, really?
They are. Like,
I guess that must be literally every kid then.
Yeah, most kids. I hear this from a lot of parents. Like, like sometimes they just nibble. Like they like he does this more than her. Like cereal, and sometimes obviously eggs in the morning, and a piece of fruit. You slip him some milk and all that stuff. But like he'll eat his cereal in like dribs and drabs, like 2 spoonfuls. Then he'll go and he'll grab a bat. Then then I'll hear the ball bouncing in then 2 spoonfuls, and I'll hear the 3D printer going. He's making something for his business. I'm like, just eat. Just sit down and eat. Do it after. Then the cereal gets soggy. I think every kid at the end of the day is.
I was really bad. When I was a good kid.
Not me.
Really?
No, my sister was rough.
I feel like that's from your or my parents' generation, your generation. Like they always talk about like they had to eat everything that was on the plate, so you just didn't have an option of being a picky eater. So
I guess first of all, like number one, my mom's the best cook in the world, so the best.
There you go,
the best. So. Every Sunday meal, it's, and she would make some of that stuff during the week too. Like even like chicken cacciatore, which is a real old school Italian dish. Nobody really makes that anymore, but with the puree, it's good. I'm like eggs, sausage and peppers, eggs and peppers. And then obviously some more conventional stuff. My dad would work the grill, but they were never like, no, you eat every, I ate because I just had a good appetite.
Yeah.
And it came naturally. But I'll tell you that I got to get moving. I'll read maybe that chat too, and then I got to bounce. But they, during the summer, we'd always hear the ice cream bells, right? And a lot of the time they would come when me and my buddies were still playing like wiffle ball on the street. But I remember this one time we heard it, and Brussels sprouts are absolutely repulsively gross. You couldn't pay me. I can't stand them, right? And thankfully, she didn't make them very often. But
that's like a take you and I are so opposite of.
You like them?
I love Brussels sprouts, dude. any day of the week, fried, roasted, salted.
Really?
Give it to me.
Okay.
Yes, those are my favorite.
Listen, I like broccoli with mushrooms. I like I don't like spinach that much, but cream spinach at a steakhouse is good. I love edamame. Speaking of Japanese food, right? Love that. Salt, good edamame. But no, Brussels sprouts gross. And I remember my sister and I actually, because we weren't getting ice cream until we had some of the Brussels sprouts.
Sure.
We actually froze our taste buds with ice cubes
to eat them.
To eat the Brussels sprouts, so we couldn't taste.
Wow.
Them. Yeah, I remember
that is funny.
All right, let me read this, and then I absolutely have to go. What do we got? BT, where did you meet? And what? Oh, God, it's a long story.
Oh man,
into it now. It's 12. Do me a favor, save that. The short version is at a Kentucky Derby party in Manhattan. That's the short version. I don't want to leave him shortchanged there because, nice and generous little super chat, but it's 12-12 as one of the longest shows we've done. I got a lot to do today. I want to let you guys know. So I appreciate that, Matt, but I'll give you guys a fun story, some of the details at some point. What else? All right. Monday, Rothenberg, get it up there for me, Jay. Let's go. I've got Dave coming on. I'm looking forward to get to know Dave a little bit. Either 10:30 or 11. Try to squash this beef here, this blossoming issue, this rift. I don't know what's going on with these two guys, but they are both good guys. I mean, I know Jerry, and I know of Dave, so I'll get to know Dave, but he strikes me as a good guy. His son's playing college baseball too, so we definitely have that love for youth sports, and we'll have a little fun with that. But I got to make sure there's no negative Nick energy going into the conference finals, and these two guys, like I can't let their little riff sabotage it. So I'll flush through it. Had Jerry on the other day. It's Dave's turn on Monday. It's going to be a great time. Yanks and Mets, obviously, over the weekend, Subway Series. We'll get into that a lot. Obviously, keep an eye on the Pistons and the Cavaliers tonight. Let's hope we get a Game 7 next week. A ton of Knicks content, obviously. So that's about it, man. Jay, have a good weekend, man. Enjoy yourself. Be good, all right? Everybody else out there, do your thing.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
Okay. Like it, subscribe it, get it out there. Make sure you jump into the channel and check out some of the other videos, some of the previous guests, some of the previous content. We had Aaron Boone on last week, or this week, I should say. So anything you wanted to catch up on, even if it's like the old thing when 2 months ago with Stephen A. or Michael K., LaGreca, Jerry Ferrara was on last week, more, and Patino's in there somewhere. So that's it. So have a great weekend. I appreciate you guys. Really good week on the show, and I will catch you Monday. Have an awesome weekend. Go Yanks.
This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host, Brandon Tierney.